And also,
we'll do it live. Fuck it.
Welcome to another episode of Business Party Podcast, where we're going to be talking about some more bullshit that's happening, and we should be having a good guest on later in about an hour or so. Hopefully, Will Johnson will be joining us again. And yeah, we know probably won't happen, but we still have to talk about it because that's fucking news. So, welcome to the episode. Yeah, welcome to the Wednesday episode. Oh no, they ain't going to. The only thing that's going to happen is them continuously trying to shit on Donald Trump.
That's it.
Whether he's guilty or not, anyone can say whatever. All they're doing.
Yeah.
That's all our Department of Justice and all that shit is doing.
That's all they're doing. Hi, folks. How are you today? Long time no see. About 24 hours.
It's been 24 hours, motherfuckers.
But we're having a conversation. Craig Groeschel is also a good one to follow. Remember we were talking about the churches and stuff like that before we went on and stuff like that. But yeah,
we're having before conversation and after stuff.
Yeah. Well, I didn't want to poo on what you were what you were talking about, and I feel bad, but Jackie, I just don't want you to get.
I don't mind being
people are mad at me because I kind of shit on people from Sound of Freedom and shit because I don't need a fucking movie. I need results.
Listen, yeah, you're absolutely right.
What?
We need to talk about that.
Yeah, we can.
Because we were supposed to talk about it like last week, and I was actually thinking about that today, and I was like, we never talked about it.
Well, we talked about it on Sunday because Spike asked the same question that you were asking. Where's the money?
Where's the money?
Where's the money?
Where's it going?
What's going on with the money?
And the reason why I am so adamant on I don't need a fucking movie, I need results, is because I've already lived in the conspiracy world and known about all the trafficking long enough, and I know you have too as well, Jackie. And now Davey's starting to get into it. But I also lived in the tracking these pieces of shit down world on the internet. I've tried to get results. I've tried to do things like that. So you just making a movie is, I mean, it's cool and all.
Thank you. Thanks for doing that.
Fucking money out there. Jim Caviezel, fuck off with you being rich now. Give it to results.
Yeah.
Sorry. That's what I want.
Yeah, you're right. What are they doing with that money? You're absolutely right. You know,
I know, nice I know, like Jackie was kind of making a point before too when we were kind of talking about they're going to put it toward making some more things. I get that.
Yeah,
but I want results, and I'm sorry that I sound shitty for that.
You need to take in consideration too, like the movie was made 5-6 years.
No, it was.
You know.
Yeah, I keep forgetting that too.
Yeah, so. You know, it's making a lot of money now, but then you know, you've got Tom Ballard going out there as well as people from Angel Studios going out on like podcasts. And
there's some weird shit about there's some weird shit about Tim Ballard too. I mean, it's you can take it or leave it somewhat, but
he's a CIA agent.
Yeah, and when did we start trusting? When did we start trusting anybody that worked for the CIA?
You know,
I'm just saying. I'm just saying.
I know.
You know what I find funny? This is what I find so funny. It's like every time, and it's all of us. We all do it. And we're talking about like society yesterday, and we hit. You know, it was a great talk yesterday. Like I felt so good after yesterday's show.
Wait, huh? Was on Ballard's podcast the other day. I didn't even know he had one, and I will listen to that shit because I want to see what both of them motherfuckers have to say.
So
we had say fuckheads. I think
fuckheads. I was going
to. We had like such a great conversation yesterday, and I loved it, and it was so good, and it felt me such joy to kind of talk about that. Like, and I know Biz too. Biz has been wanting to talk about that.
Yeah,
but we shit on a lot of people. It's like everybody that who tries to do good, there's something to shit on them for. Like we all can't just be like yeah, no, he did a good thing, you know, he brought this movie to light, you know, he's bringing this to light with people. But no, fuck him. He's a CIA agent. He's got an alternate agenda. No, fuck that guy.
Well, there possibly could. And the reason why some people are pointing it out, and I'm starting to agree with the way that it happened. You know, when that came out, what was proposed almost directly after that came out?
You're talking about the chipping of the kids?
Nope. Senate Bill 1409. Kids Online Safety Act.
Really?
Which is a guise toward control as protecting kids.
Wait, recently or?
Yes. Yeah.
Okay.
But the thing is, though, too, you have to take in consideration also Senate Bill 1409 came out with all this TikTok stuff, and they had the TikTok CEO on a committee hearing.
No, that wasn't
and
that wasn't
everything.
the same one. No, that wasn't the same one. That was a different bill.
No,
1409
I
just
know,
came out. Yeah.
I know it just came out, but you also had this. The thing with this TikTok guy wasn't that long ago. It's not like it only takes like a day for someone to write up a whole bill.
Oh no, I know,
like
but
this, you know. So that
but
could, because
it's
when they were talking to the TikTok CEO, they were talking about kids stuff too. So, because I feel like sometimes everyone gets so like pinpoint focused on just one thing. Like sometimes you just gotta take a step back.
well, I
real
mean,
quick.
it's all pointed toward that. I'll take a step forward because it's all pointed toward that. It's all pointed toward control. The one that came out with TikTok, this one, all that. It's under guises of control.
I don't trust this fucking dude, by the way. I fucking
No, he looks like that weirdo church guy we were
despise-
just talking about.
Yeah, I despise this dude. This dude looks like he has kids in a crawl space.
Yeah,
And his
Didn't
fucking and his
he's the one
fingernails.
that lied to get out
Yeah.
of Vietnam.
Mhm.
Mhm.
Yeah, and then he's lied about a lot of shit. But if you look at his hands, his fingernails don't have any fucking. It's all white. They're all white and they look dead. They all look dead. But yeah, I don't trust anything this fucking guy does. He's from
See,
Connecticut.
This is what that's what I say totally too. And I mean, and I know I get pretty contrarian and I love Jackie grounds me sometimes on some shit, but I get very contrarian about a lot of shit. But that's a good thing. We
Yeah.
all have to question shit.
But we all have
real
our own
quick,
opinions.
Pull that back up about
Oh,
Blumenthal. It said
Oh,
was
oh,
May, right?
on.
May is when Senate Bill 1409 came out. Right? Didn't say where.
Introduced May 2nd, 2023.
Okay.
See,
This
that's
is my point. Hon, this is my point. All right.
Mhm.
I gotta bring it up. So 4 months ago. So in March is when
Oh,
the
sorry.
CEO from
mhm.
in March is when the CEO from TikTok went and talked to Congress and everything
Mhm.
too. And so then what? 2 months later, then it comes out with the 1409. So I don't think it doesn't have anything.
But
to
they
do with
came
Son
out
of
with
Freedom.
something else before that.
Yeah,
think
that
Before
one
the
was about
TikTok bill.
well, yeah, and it was about like basically government control.
Mhm. And that's
over,
the same
like,
thing they're
social
doing in
media
this one.
processes and stuff.
This
Exactly. So
yeah.
I don't. It had nothing to do. It had nothing to do with the whole Sound of Freedom stuff.
I don't know. I'm gonna have to respectfully sort of disagree. I think it was a play.
Okay.
I think that's a
Think
little
it was
bit of
a
a
play?
psyop deal. Yeah, I do. I do.
Hold on.
Um.
This is
No,
what.
but that's me that's just me thinking, putting
No, I
some
mean-
of those together. And but I mean,
But it could be. It could also. I can understand where. Yeah, like bringing that up could be used to
Yeah.
strengthen that. Of course.
Oh,
right.
this one's almost the same. This is what Matt Villain was talking about. This one was introduced by Lindsey Graham.
Mhm.
This was the Eliminating Abusive and Rampant Neglect of Interactive Technologies Act of 2022, or the Earn It Act of 2022. This bill
I don't
revises
give
the
a fuck
federal
who remember
framework
that.
governing the prevention of online sexual exploitation of children. The bill established the National Commission on Online Sex Trafficking Exploration Prevention. The commission must develop best practices and interactive computer sources, Facebook, Twitter, to prevent, reduce, and respond to the online sexual exploitation of children. The bill limits
Well,
the
Eric-
liability protections of interactive computer service providers that respect to claim alleged violation of. So this kind of gives. This bill limits liability protections of interactive computer service providers. So does that mean that like they're not blaming Facebook or Twitter for it, or does that
No,
mean
service provide. I think when they say service, you have to look at definitions on there because,
Okay.
like, to me, I would say service providers would be like your internet provider, not
Mm-hmm.
the social media provider. Like the internet provider has won't be held liable.
Right.
Okay.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, I was just saying like because it happens with Kelly too. And when we talk on Friday and I say, I bring something up like the Sound of Freedom and how, she just goes off on like how Tim Ballard's really a piece of shit and he's doing nothing, and and she calls him fake Jesus.
Yeah,
And
I
fake
don't like
Jesus,
Caviezel.
you know, is
I'm the same
doing,
way as her with
you
that.
know, is not a really nice guy and all this stuff. And I'm like, I get that, but
Can't
can
we
it
just
be-
take the W for 5
can-
minutes?
but
I know.
yeah, but
I
can
know.
it just be like, hey, they're bringing some to the forefront? Yeah, they're going out and telling everybody these 85,000 kids are missing, blah 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 blah, and that they're saying that it's all these trafficking, and a lot of these traffickers are kids' parents, uncles, you know, close people, because you know Kelly does do work with all these survivors and stuff, and 90%. But can't we just like, hey, this is going on, and like take the W, like Mama J just said, like, and actually be like, oh, this is actually out, where they're not trying to make this the fucking the 7 dwarves into normal people. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
And take
no, I
Snow
hear
White
that.
and make her black. You know, it's like,
There is no pleasing you.
Pretty much.
but and I get it. I get it. There's a lot of people, like we were just talking about. I don't know if we want to say the name, but the pastor who I said that I'm starting to, you know, listen to, and he's kind of being motivating towards me, because you know, he looks like a Spanish dude. He looks like he could be my uncle or my twin brother,
Mhm.
and you know, and it's empowering. And then Mama J just goes, well.
You may want to pump the
I'm the
brakes.
one who has
Let me
visited
tell
in
you
his
something
church.
about what he did with water guns.
Yeah.
It's just like, can I just not listen to the words? I'm not going to
I
give him any
know.
money. I'm not going to give him any money. I'm just going to say, hey, thanks for lifting me up for the day. Thanks for making me have a nice, good cry as I hold my hands up high, and thank Jesus Christ for letting me have another day. Not so
Well,
Snow White and the
that's why
6
I came
average.
back on and I said I'm sorry. I feel like such an asshole
But no,
afterwards.
but I don't mind that. See, this is what I tell people. I rather you tell me what you want to tell me.
I agree. Once a spook, always a spook when it comes to CIA and shit.
I'd rather you sit there and be like, listen, this is what this guy is. Take it how you want to, but I'm just telling you the facts, and this is what happened. But we don't have that, and that's another thing we were talking about yesterday. Like, we don't have.
Oh.
People will go around and would rather not take responsibility or tell somebody like, no, don't do that. Like, Trump doesn't have a no guy. Fucking these Congress people don't have a no guy. These rich people don't have no people. If a lot of them had no people, maybe they would be better people. But they all are surrounded by people that tell them they're the greatest thing since sliced bread, because they're being paid to tell them they're the greatest thing ever. And that's another part of the downfall of society, is you have all these people just kissing everybody's ass for that money.
Mhm.
So it's
Yeah.
like it's funny. Like you said, I'd rather be told that, hey, no, I mean, listen, take the information I give you for whatever you want to, but this is also the stuff. But I just found it funny. Is that a typo?
I changed it.
It was-
Yeah, I did. I had it totally wrong. It's all right.
But yeah, no, it thought in my head just popped up. Like, every time we talk about, hey, did you see somebody? He did this good thing. It's like, no, fuck that guy. You know what he really did?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because like now, so like with the whole Tim Ballard stuff, like he had an organization that they did themselves, not through the government, to help with kids who are with human trafficking. And now what he started another like nonprofit called Spear or whatever, and that's where they allocate like where the money goes to like what organization. I don't know.
Mhm.
It's definitely something I want to look into, because I know that there are tons of organizations out there that do stuff. I know I looked at I know people for some reason now I've seen people saying that Craig Sawyer is now a piece of shit too. I don't know.
Who's
But he
Craig
was
Sawyer?
vets for child rescue.
Mhm.
Okay.
It's V4CR.
Mhm.
But like he was in the military and stuff, and his daughter got caught up in all that stuff, and then he like basically was like a taken situation. He went and he fucking found her.
Hmm.
It's just, once
know?
again, it's funny that, like, I don't know if all these people are like bad people, but once again, the stories that come out, what is the main driver is the money. The money.
Mhm.
When people are good and are like good off, well off, and once they start making that extra money, that's when everything goes awry. That's when everything goes awry and everybody starts, you try to find out how to make more money. And then, your morals become corrupted. And that's the thing with socialism. It's the same fucking thing. On paper, socialism is amazing. Yeah. It's amazing. Everybody's equal. Everybody gets equal pay. Everybody can do this and that and this and that. But then you have the people who are on the top who go, well, how do I make more money? Well, I'm going to fuck this guy. Well, no, I'm going to fuck this guy. I'm going to fuck that guy. And then that's what happens. But it's a funny example and it's a fucking stretch, but that's kind of the same thing. Like the higher you get and the more powerful you get, the more it gets to your head. Mm-hmm. But I'm 5'4", man. Can I be considered the one minority picked midget?
So shorter than the average. You're only 5'4".
What does Jack call it? What does Jack call it? It's like
I thought you were taller.
And the guys they picked up from Home Depot.
Wanathon.
Jack call it.
Oh man, but yeah, I mean it's update. I got a phone call from Disney, and I'm now officially the 8th Dorothy for the movie. I was told to sue to transition to. To be honest, I'm fucking so sick of them remaking movies.
Yeah.
Period. Yeah. Point blank.
That's the main thing.
Down. I don't know if I'm using it right again.
Hollywood, you're untalented fucking hacks.
Yeah.
Make different movies. You don't need to change some of the. You don't need stop being like, oh, but these little kids want to see somebody who looks like them in it. You know what I would like to? Okay, then you want to go there. I'll go see the Barbie when you put the retarded Down syndrome Barbie in it that you made. That represents everybody. Otherwise, shut the fuck up and make better stuff. Quit remaking Cinderella. Quit remaking all this shit. Make a fucking new movie. Get talent.
And then
that's what I don't get. Like they made was it The Princess and the Frog, and apparently that was supposed to be different, but they made it in Louisiana or whatever. It's actually a really cute movie. I watched it the other day with my sons and then my husband comes in and he's like, why are you watching all this princess shit with my sons? I'm like, because I have no one else to watch it with. So
yeah.
Babe, we gotta talk. There's the boys, they think they want to wear dresses. They like princess movies. But yeah, I don't listen, to be honest with you, this writer's strike, fuck them. If this is, we're going to get the same shit with different, people, and that's what, and they want more money for this shit. They all talk about, all the writers for these late night talk shows all talk about the same shit. It's all Donald Trump is bad. It's all this is bad. It's all that is bad. It's all racism. Fuck you then. Mm-hmm. If that's all you're going to talk about and not something different, like the movie Hostel was amazing because it was different. Eli Roth made a different movie. It was Hostel. I'm so sick of I love B movies because B movies, at least they take a fucking chance.
Yeah. I agree with that. Sure.
Like Human Centipede.
Oh, Jesus Christ.
They took a chance and they made 3 of them.
That shit was ridiculous.
Yeah. But it's not the same thing. How many times are you going to make Transformers with different people and be expect to make the same amount of money?
Right.
Why are they on strike?
The writers, why are they on strike? Because well, basically money. They were trying to fight for better pay for whatever else.
Because of AI.
Yeah.
Because AI, what they want to do is this is what I've heard. I haven't read up on it. What they want to do is take the actors, get their likeness and just use it for movies, and that's it. And they don't want to pay them for it.
Like they did with Carrie Fisher and Philip Seymour Hoffman, and after they've died.
Once again, progression isn't always the best thing.
I was just listening to Quite Frankly before we got on here, and he has a guy on, and they're talking about the Beatles conspiracy and stuff. And so he was talking about how in the music industry now that they're going to try and use AI, use voices, compilation of people's voices, like they could do with Frank Sinatra and stuff like that, and put them on different tracks and everything. For
what? To make them more money.
Yeah.
Because fuck
Yeah.
everybody else. Like I don't know if it was here or I think we were talking about it on one of the Friday podcasts. Like some vaccine, some lady sued because they're using her clone DNA for a vaccine.
Oh yeah.
For a vaccine now from
Henrietta.
Yeah.
Something. Hold on.
Yeah. Yeah, she was like a slave or something like that. But they
No.
She was a
not
babysitter? I don't know.
slave.
I don't remember.
Oh my god.
I don't think they had that technology back then, homie.
No, she
Just
was
saying.
born in 1920.
Oh
Henrietta
shit.
Lacks.
That's it.
She was born in 1920, man. They got her DNA in 1950. Shit.
Just slightly after slavery time.
Y'all. Today.
That was fucking great.
But they were using her DNA. What is it? If you look, you're looking at the article. What did they use her DNA for? I think the mRNA.
What they did is, so she had ovarian
cancer. Yeah.
And they took
I got that right.
ovarian or cervical cancer. It was one. I don't know. It was in the woman part area, and they took part of her cells, and what they found is that it regenerated into like the tumor would regenerate itself. So they kept her DNA and her that tumor alive and just kept growing it over and over again. And that's what they did at I think it was Johns Hopkins that kept doing it. And it's called the HeLa cell. HeLa.
That bitch a Gila dog.
Yeah. And the family sued because the university kept using it, and it was basically the start of all I guess that type of medical tech. I don't know, the cell regeneration tech in the medical community. And so they reached a settlement on the 1st of August.
But yeah, they just took her shit. They just took her shit. It was just bah, and they just used it and made millions and billions of dollars off of her DNA and her, her tumor.
And also didn't tell anybody.
And didn't give the family shit.
Mm-hmm.
It's called it said the cells went on to become the first immortal human cell line. So they call it the immortal life of Henrietta Lacks.
Yeah.
Because it just didn't die. It's weird.
Yeah, and they just took it because they could. They just took it,
and they made it. I mean, millions, if not billions, of money from it because they start using it in vaccines and stuff too.
Yeah. So the people are just pieces.
Hold on. Abel said, Mama J, in the woman parts, best quote of the year.
In the woman part. Bonus hole.
In that area.
From the bonus hole part, But yeah.
I would rather call it the woman part than the bonus hole. But
yeah.
I would too. But yeah, man, it's just, like I said, they just take the shit that they want to and just do whatever they want with it. So yeah, so that's kind of why the strike is going on, is because they just want to take their likeness, pay them a certain amount, and then just use it in movies and not want to pay them. Yeah. I mean, it's a shitty kind of thing to do, but fuck them.
I was listening to Tim Pool was talking about how I guess a left-leaning outlet was doing a documentary on right-wing stuff, and how they had people sign these contracts for the documentary. And he was saying that they could use your likeness, right?
Yeah. Yep.
Anytime you see use your likeness, you're like, well, you have to step back and be like, wait, no.
Right.
So I'm wondering though, if I guess it would be a good thing if they are striking, if in their contracts and stuff that they have with studios and everything, it says, oh, and we have the rights to your likeness while alive or deceased.
Well, that's what.
How.
In a lot of autobiographical movies, or like documentaries and stuff like that, they literally will say that they're going to buy them. Is basically what they say. They're like, yeah, they want to buy me and my likeness and use it for multiple things and just pay me a certain amount and then just use it forever. So, you know, I guess there's a point for it, but I mean, once again, they're doing the same shit over. How many Mission Impossibles do we really fucking need?
Oh, I know. Yeah.
How many Transformers do we really need? Like it's almost the same thing with different robots over and over again. It's just big thing, big boom, big fight scene. It's like, guys, can we do something different? Like, I mean, the last Transformer was good for what it was, but like, still, you guys aren't doing anything.
Are they still using Marky Mark in them?
Yep. No, this one was a Spanish dude from the Bronx. Was it Marky Mark in there? I don't know. Yeah, I think I don't remember.
Because after they fired Shia, then Marky Mark took over.
Yeah, I think so. I think Marky Mark was in this one. Yeah, I think so because his daughter was like.
Believe me, soon enough, there's probably going to be a trans Barbie movie coming out.
Yeah.
I would not be surprised.
Yeah, I
It'll be called Darby. Just to make it slightly in the
Doobie.
middle. Yeah.
Doobie. Hey, Doobie. Hey, man. Hey, man. Want to cut off my parts? Listen, it doesn't matter. Barbie and Ken aren't anatomically correct anyway, so it really doesn't matter.
Exactly.
You know, Barbie has a little like.
They don't have the
pew.
parts.
Bumping
don't.
smooths.
Barbie
That's
doesn't have
about
the woman part.
No, she doesn't. And Ken doesn't have that man part.
The man part either. But yeah, so it's just fuck them. It's basically it. Fuck them. If they don't like it, then you know the same thing with people who were not getting vaccinated and they were like, well, then I guess you're gonna lose your job. You don't want to sell your likeness? Well, guess you're gonna lose your job. Too fucking bad. You don't like it now, huh? Oh,
yeah.
You guys don't like it when it's affecting your pocket. When it's affecting other people's pockets, it comes to, oh, I'm sorry that happened to you, but you know, you can buy pizza somewhere else.
All right. Well, that also happened with like a couple other movies. What was that one movie that they put out? That boys movie or whatever the fuck it was called. That like I forgot that dude's name. It's about the gay dudes.
Oh yeah, with
Boys?
Billy Eichner.
Mhm. Yeah.
With Billy Eichner when he
Just remember, it lost tons of money, but that's because you're homophobic.
Yeah.
Fuck you.
Oh yeah,
Your
didn't he
movie
write
was
that
terrible.
on Twitter? Like the
Yeah.
reason why people didn't go see it is because they're homophobic.
Yeah.
They honestly, it didn't really. I don't know if it didn't look that funny.
No, it
didn't.
looked stupid.
Yeah.
I'm
It
sorry.
did.
It
And I
did.
don't actually. And that guy's okay.
Billy Eichner.
I don't even think it's that funny.
No. I mean, on
He's okay.
on his show, he was pretty funny. Jesus,
Mute,
Christmas.
motherfucker.
Yeah, I know. I usually do, but like I can't hear sometimes when I'm down here, and just in case. But yeah. But Billy Eichner was great on his show, but as an actor, he's too like not too flamboyant, but like too like, hey guys, I'm gay. Did you know I'm gay? I'm gay. Hey guys, I'm gay.
I think he's annoying. Me personally.
Like who? We're at the point like who gives a fuck anymore? Honestly, we're nobody cares. Everybody's too worried about how much money is in their bank account and how much we're getting fucked over. Like being gay, it's down. Like it's down at the bottom. I couldn't
Yeah,
give a fuck.
I'm more worried about fucking Dub 3 popping off over who the fuck is sticking what and where.
Yeah.
I just like to make
I'm
fun
more
of it,
worried
but
about
I don't
childhood rabies than that
Yeah.
right now.
care. Really?
hmm
Childhood rabies?
Dude, children like to play with fucked up animals all the time.
No, that's true.
Did
Actually,
one
yeah,
of your
that's
kids
true.
play with a fucked up animal?
No.
She's like, possibly.
I don't. You're not a good liar. You're really not a good liar.
Could be. It wasn't them, it was me.
Yes. All right, it's not childhood rabies. It's my
All right, it's
rabies
just
because I got
rabies,
bit
all
by a
right?
raccoon.
You know what? No, it's because you had the Office song playing, and it made me think of when Meredith got rabies.
Oh, yeah.
That's my ringtone. I love that ringtone.
Oh.
But yeah. But I don't know. I mean, I mean, we're all worried about where all our money's going, and these fucking assholes are sitting there lying about who's giving money to who through the government.
Well, I think
Just
we're gonna
admit
find
it.
out just a little bit of that.
Just fucking White House cocaine may belong to someone in Biden's family. Or no shit. Ooh. Wow. Really? Really?
I would say the tweets underneath this article were hilarious.
Oh, are
They're
they?
like, no, really?
Oh,
Was
yeah,
it?
yeah.
Where?
Up on okay, yeah. White House cocaine may have belonged to someone in the Biden family orbit. Yeah, no shit. We all been saying that from the beginning. Bag of cocaine found in the cocaine in the West Wing last month reportedly may have belonged to someone in the Biden family orbit. And the president allegedly knows who it is. No shit, it's his fucking son.
The better headline would be Secret Service is hunting for someone with cocaine.
Yeah.
No, there's someone
would've
on
been
Twitter
good.
was like, yeah, we knew it was Hunter's daughter, like the 4-year-old,
Yeah.
like that Biden just finally recognized.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Like it's
Yeah.
like, guys, we all saw him on the balcony when he's just like, nah, what's going on here? Okay, guys, I'll see you later. Like, we all know who it is. Just stop fucking lying. Like who cares? Who
Mhm.
cares? Do you think cocaine is the worst thing that's been in the White House?
No.
No, not at all.
But to just the problem to just lie about it, and everybody knows who it is and what's happening, but no, they just got to sit there and like, this is the dumbest thing to fucking lie about. This really is. This could possibly the dumbest thing to fucking lie about is who is doing cocaine in the White House.
Right.
Because
Well,
nobody gives a fuck.
here's where you know that it's all stupid, because they already said they weren't possibly going to find anybody, and that was by the Secret Service themselves. And according to Keating, while the Secret Service publicly announced July 13th they had closed the investigation without identifying a suspect due to lack of physical evidence. You know, the bag was there and there's probably fingerprints, but yeah, whatever. Authorities
they
were
go
able
on to
to
say that
follow.
They found a fingerprint on the bag.
Mhm. Yeah, but they closed the case without lack of evidence. Bullshit.
Yeah.
It was Kamala's husband.
And we're confident
I'm still
enough in their
going with
detective.
I'm still going with the Andrew Wilkel theory that Kamala and Hunter Biden are having an affair.
Oh,
Love
that
it. I love that
so-
theory.
I
I think it's
mean,
amazing.
that might be a decent theory, but if it's true, Hunter, you're wasting that hog on that bitch. Come on, man.
Listen, the man is once again, the man is in it. They're both about the same fucking age. It's not like,
she's disgusting. No, come on, he's done way better. He can do better.
I mean, he's
a piece
paid
of
for
shit.
better. He's
Yeah.
paid for a lot better. I mean, he fucked his,
And
he
she
fucked
could
his
probably
brother's
get
sister,
him
his brother's
paid.
wife.
For a
Well,
lot more than so.
He
Yeah,
was fucking
that's
his
true.
brother's wife, his dead brother's wife. I mean, come on. Do you really think there's any morals in this man? This man sees a hole that's open and he just puts his penis in. That's all. He
Speaking
goes,
of seeing a hole and putting your penis in it, breaking news that doesn't make any sense. Has released bank records clarifying details of Hunter Biden's business dealings in Russia. So the committee now says the Bidens have received over 20 million from the foreign sources. Hunter Biden provided zero real services besides providing access to the Biden network, including Joe Biden himself, according to Oversight Chair James Comer. It's clear Joe Biden knew about his son's business dealings and allowed himself to be the brand. That's why he always calls him the big guy. Sold to enrich the Biden family while he was vice president of the United States, said Comer. What will it take for Speaker McCarthy to impeach Joe Biden? Probably I'm not even going to say. All right, I'll just go ahead and leave that at that because he's a fucking Republican shill. McCarthy's fuck that guy.
Forget that guy, but also like everybody else that's in freaking Congress, like get him out, man.
Mhm.
Like everyone that's in the House, like they said, like, okay, here are our stipulations, and they could call to remove him over one issue. Well, there's been more than one issue now.
Right. That was the whole point of like whenever they said you were getting in, here's going to be the stipulation. Start doing this shit or we will recall you.
Yeah.
Hey, pussy ass fucking House Republicans. Get rid of them.
In fact,
Get somebody else
how many
in.
times did I have to hear Democrats go, Hakeem Jeffries?
Yeah.
From that stupid thing.
Right.
The FBI, my FBI agent didn't like the things I said about Kamala, so he cut off my service for a few minutes. Put me on timeout.
Fuck that guy.
Dante, fuck you.
His name Dante. That's why he's a bitch. No, I don't know. I'm just being an asshole.
Oh,
But-
speaking of that. Oh, go ahead.
Good. No, I wasn't gonna say anything
Well,
remotely
all right.
anything.
Uh-oh. Did I just exit out something? I need it.
Oh boy.
Shit. Probably. Anyway, well, I wanted to. All right, here it is. So this is the actual like memorandum that came out,
There you go. Yeah, I
today.
was gonna pull that up. Yep. And this
and
is
I'm just gonna
for
go to the.
this is for that $20 million payment for anyone who is listening to. But yeah,
Yeah, this is what I wanted to point out though too is that on March 16th of 2023, staff issued the first memorandum, the first bank records memorandum, highlighting that the Biden's family's use of Robinson Walker LLC account to receive money from certain Chinese entities. Then on May 10th of 2023, the staff issued their second memorandum, which was the second bank records memorandum, which focused on the Biden's business dealings in Romania and additional information regarding their partnership with Chinese entities closely tied to the Chinese Communist Party. So this is the third bank records memorandum that they have, and now it includes foreign entities, including like Russia, Ukraine, and Kazakhstan.
didn't they say something about China?
Donald Trump don't trust China. China is asshole.
That's
Yes,
still the
those
best
were in
sound.
the first two. Those were in the first two bank record
Mhm.
memorandums. Yeah. So in the summary, it talks about how the committee staff releasing payments from Russia, Ukraine, and Kazakhstan that occurred during Joe Biden's vice presidency. They can now identify over $20 million in payments from foreign sources to the Biden family and their business associates. Hunter Biden
Okay.
and Devin Archer used Rosemont Seneca entities to bring in millions from oligarchs in Europe and Asia. Which, by the way,
Mhm.
I'm still trying to get through the Devin Archer interview.
I
On
didn't
But
the,
watch it all
on the
either.
committee.
You.
Yeah,
On the
I
committee.
didn't watch
on
it
the
all.
select
No,
committee?
with Tucker,
Oh,
right?
Yeah. No, well, yeah, he had an interview with Tucker. He had 2 interviews with Tucker. I think
Okay.
it was like a total of like 2.5 hours or something.
Oh
like
no
that.
shit! I didn't
But
know it was that long.
then-
Damn.
Yeah, and then he did. Well, maybe that's too long. Maybe it was 2 hours.
So,
The
well,
second one was
shit.
long
Even
time.
over an hour. I didn't know they did that long. Okay.
Yeah, and then they did a behind the closed doors committee hearing, like interview
Mhm.
with Devin Archer a few weeks ago, and they didn't have it like televised or anything like that. So you have to read through like 141 pages of
Oh
all the shit.
Jesus!
Yeah.
It's like a
So,
fucking.
but
It's
there's
a
interesting stuff in
mini
there.
novel.
I hate
It
fucking.
goes by fast though because it's like back and forth, so it's not like single lines.
No, that's
or
true.
anything, you know what
Yeah.
I mean?
I
Mhm.
really,
So-
I really hate these backdoor fucking things. Like I don't.
I know.
How can we trust a government that has backdoor fucking interviews?
Yeah.
That's
exactly.
supposed to be. It's supposed
Yeah.
to be the government for the people, by the people, and they're just sitting there and they're going, "Oh, we're just gonna have these behind closed doors. Like, we don't want anybody to hear any of this
Yeah.
stuff that goes on." It's like, no, go
Well,
fuck yourself.
Here's the thing though. So this interview with Devin Archer, it was just an interview. He wasn't under oath or anything like that. And that Goldman guy that came out and was talking about, oh, they were just talking about the weather. He was literally like the only Democrat there that was asking questions, besides like Democrat staffers,
Really?
by the way. Yeah.
Yeah, of course.
That's
'cause
what
they
I
don't-
think was really interesting that no one actually even talked about about the
Right.
interview is that there was only him who's an actually elected official and anybody else that was there on the Democrat side was a staffer.
Because they don't
Right.
care.
Mhm.
They don't give a
Yeah.
fuck. They really don't.
Well, it's not that they don't care, it's that they don't have any questions that they could ask to debunk what they're trying to debunk.
It's
Well, yeah.
it's just they're just all corrupt. It's basically it. They're all just corrupt.
Well, yeah.
And they only care about
mean, we
their
all know that.
money. They only care about the money.
Yeah. Well, like in here, like they used Rosemont Seneca as one of the places that people would put the money in, and then they distribute it there. In February of 2014, a Russian oligarch sent $3.5 million to a shell company associated with Hunter Biden and Devin Archer. In the spring of 2014,
What is Rosemont Seneca Thornton? I know it's a shell company, but like, what is it supposed to? What is it supposed to be though? Is it like anything? It's supposed to be like anything, like it makes widgets.
Oh, I don't even know.
No, what they are. Devin Archer explained it. Basically, it's kind of like a bullshit, but not like they're a middleman to get people talking to each other to like do stuff.
Yeah, and that's the problem with businesses. Like it's like the fucking Anthony, like when Fauci was talking about they didn't fund gain of function, but they gave money to the people who gave money to the people who did it. That's the bullshit, and that's what all businesses, and that's what people don't understand, and that's what kind of like infuriates me. Like, well, this guy doesn't pay any taxes. I mean, do you understand? They have shell companies that. So that way they can do all this stuff. And it's every rich person. It's not just fucking Trump. It's every single person that has money. If you look at some of the things that's come up on my TikTok about starting a business, you know, because we have this business, it's like, how many companies do you have? Do you have companies to make your product? You need companies to do communications. You need a company to deal with your money. You need company you need all these companies to deal with your one big large corporation, and that's the problem with this.
Well, that's the whole thing. Well, when it comes to that, if you sue the one company, it can't touch everything else. So that's the whole reason why George Soros can operate where the fuck he wants to operate, because he doesn't directly give people money.
Yeah,
it's the same shit.
It's all through his PACs.
Yeah,
I like ACT-UO and all that shit.
Like anytime it man, anytime somebody receives money from somebody else, that's exactly what fucking happens. We can point out all the people in the Democrat Party that receive money from George Soros, blah blah, and they're like, no, he didn't give it to him. Then you point out the trail, and then, but that doesn't mean he gave it to. It's the same shit. It's the same fucking thing.
Yeah,
this is the one that. Hold on.
Yeah. Pulled up Rumble. Hey, there we are.
I did pull up Rumble. I didn't mean to pull up Rumble.
We're in the Matrix, folks.
Right?
Hold on. There it is. Okay. No, this is what I wanted to pull up. This is what. So in April of 2014, a Kazakhstani oligarch wired the exact price of Hunter Biden's sports car to a bank account used by Devin Archer and Biden. So Hunter Biden met with someone that. In a Washington hotel room, they got wired $142,300 to the Rosemont Seneca account, and then the exact amount of $142,300 was taken out of the account to buy his sports car. Like a few days late, like a day later.
Nobody sees a problem with this.
No, not at all.
One person just goes, you know.
Dude, he broke the rule from what was it? Was it Godfather or whatever? Whenever they first got the money and shit, and they were like, "Don't buy anything." And these motherfuckers started buying shit.
From Goodfellas,
yeah.
He's like, "Don't buy anything." He's like, "Hey, like they said, you see my car? You see the mink on my girlfriend? Like, what the fuck did I tell you? Don't make any large purchases."
Hunter Biden's like, "Hey, I got that money, dog. Let's go buy a car."
Like the exact amount, all of it.
Hey Hunter, we want to meet with your dad. I got you want a sports car? Yeah, sure.
No,
well,
here's the funny thing though, is that the CNNs and the MSNBCs would be like, well, this is the time when he was really in the dregs of his drug addiction.
I hate
and they're
that
using it as an excuse. And I'm like,
but that's
no?
here's so, and that's a huge problem. And I forget who pointed it out. I think it was Tim Pool, because we, watched Tim Pool also. But like, if you know better, you're more accountable than not knowing better, quote unquote. You know what I mean? So if you go out and you're rich or something like that, and you go rob a place, you know better. You should go to jail. If you're poor and you go rob some place, well, you don't know better. But that's what they're doing with Hunter Biden. Well, he was on drugs, so he didn't know better. Apparently, he knew how much a fucking sports car was, and that's what he wanted. And he went, "Hey, link it to this account, send it to me. Let me go get a sports car. And here's my dad." Like, obviously, he knew.
Yeah, and it goes back to what I was saying the other day. How like it's weird how the media is trying to make it seem like he's a little kid. Like they're talking about him like he's a little kid. He's a dunce. He doesn't know anything.
Mhm.
You know, like okay, he was on drugs, but it doesn't mean that he's not. It doesn't mean he's dumb.
Right. Well,
You know
here's the
what I
thing.
mean?
Oh, because he was on
Like
drugs.
that's
Blah
what
blah.
they're trying to make him seem like he's a dumb person.
No, they're trying to make. I somewhat agree, but I also disagree. I don't think that they're trying to make him look dumb. I think they're trying to make him look like he had no ability to reason because of the drugs, which is a fucking bullshit excuse that I've heard a million times from druggies that made that fucking decision. Then I talk to him later and they're fine. Guess what? He knew what he was doing.
Well, then here's the thing. Then everybody who drunk drives and kills somebody, nothing happens. If you're a drunk driver because you were drunk, you were drinking, then no jail time, no nothing. You didn't choose to drink. You didn't choose to drive your car. Same thing with Hunter. He didn't choose to be a drug addict. No, that's not how it works.
Yeah,
you get a DUI for drinking under the influence. I had a friend who was on pain medication, and she got a DUI for 6 months for taking her pain medication, and then when she went out and had a glass of wine, and she got a DUI for it. Mind you, it was pain medication and a glass of wine, and she wasn't driving all erratically. She got scared because the cop was behind her and she knew what she had done, but she got 6 months for it. This motherfucker is making business deals, buying guns, all on drugs, paying for hookers, doing all this stuff, and you go, well, he is on drugs. He doesn't know what he's doing.
That's
he gets a slap on the wrist.
What they try to do with Andrew Gilliam. But they found him ass up in a orgy.
That guy. That dude.
Who could have been like governor of
and he almost
Florida.
beat Ron DeSantis, even though I mean it is Florida, so
Florida guy found ass up in an orgy. Turns out he almost became governor.
Let me tell you, the more I go to Florida, the more I deal with people from Florida, I go, I get it.
Yeah, Florida is full of crazy people.
Holy shit, that water is just built with there's other stuff in that water, man, because people
it's full of crazy people, and it's God's waiting room with all the fucking retirees that are down there just waiting to pass.
I lived there for 12 years of my life.
I bet it was fun.
That's why I am the way I am.
Hell yeah.
So when I realized that Florida was probably the most depressing place, like they say Florida is like Disney is the happiest place on earth. It's fucking not. Do you know Disney has its own like little place where all these kids with cancer go, where they put food and everything, they give them a place to live before they die? And I found that out. I was like, this is the most depressing place to live. Are you out of your fucking mind? All these old people coming here waiting to die. All these kids coming here waiting to die. Like, what the this is not happy. This is not happy.
I will have to happily disagree.
Florida is full of death.
It's the best. Are you kidding?
Listen, if you die in Disney, they take your ass and throw you outside and go, no, he didn't die here. They will cart your ass out of Disney.
That is actually very true.
Under those tunnels and, nope, not at all.
They won't even let the ambulance come inside the park. They throw your ass outside to the ambulance.
Take care of it out there.
Like in what you call it in Bad Boys, when they take that guy and throw him out of the ambulance right in front of the ER where he's dying, he overdosed over drugs. Nobody saw that movie. All right, but anyway,
which movie?
Bad Boys with Martin Lawrence.
Oh yeah,
I've only seen Bad Boys 2. I've never seen.
Oh, I like
Bad Boys.
The first one. Was
I think it was the second one where the guys were Gabrielle Union's in it. Don't forget the people at Disney being arrested. Yeah. Yeah, it's the one with Gabrielle Union in it, and like they're doing like Molly or they're doing some kind of like ecstasy, and they take this guy. They put the club actually has an ambulance. They put the guy in the ambulance, take him to the ER, and just fucking throw him out, and then just peace. But that's what Disney does.
Have
It's
fun.
just like goodbye.
Hey,
But,
that's what
yeah.
the Democrat Party does too to black people. They're like, we won.
Thank you very much. See you in 4
Well,
years.
actually, to be honest, that's the
Oh.
whole government. I can't just say Democrats.
Yeah.
It's the whole government. They do that shit.
It reminds me of that meme though of like Greta Thunberg, and it's like it was like they had an SUV in a car and like throwing a girl out, and it was like the Democrat
yeah.
Party after 2020, and like they threw Greta Thunberg out
Uh-huh.
in the car.
You saw she like resurfaced and she did the whole you're killing the universe, and she was like playing
That
around
bitch is trying to say saving the banks will save the world. She's
What?
a fucking moron. Yeah. That means
What?
that means you're in the system, bitch. Saving the banks is not gonna save the world. That's gonna do the opposite.
It just amazes me that like these people will like trance out like a Greta Thunberg or like a Bill Gates, Greta Thunberg who didn't even graduate high school, and then Bill Gates who wasn't even a doctor, and be like, these are the experts on climate and your health.
Right? That's what I'm
But
saying.
don't listen to Joe Rogan about ivermectin or any of that stuff, because
Yeah.
Joe Rogan's just a celebrity. He doesn't know what he's talking about.
Yeah.
Meanwhile, you got a 15-year-old girl trying to tell you how to save the world while she's taking a boat across the Atlantic trying to get to a speech, and then she
Yeah.
flies home.
And then she gets arrested as she gets carried out of places, then sat the fuck back down, and the cops walk away and she walks away. Yeah, that's
Did we find is she autistic? Anybody in the chat? Does anybody know? Because I remember
I'm just gonna say
hearing
yes.
that she was autistic.
No, I
She's
don't
an
know.
autist.
Yeah,
No,
I
she's
don't
just
know.
she was just human trafficked by her parents, and she's got to do whatever they
Ugh,
say.
That's
Because,
horrible.
dude, did you see her parents though? Her parents are just like, yeah, her parents are awful people. They look.
I'm
they
sure
were,
they are.
I saw when they first
they're
came
letting
out.
this happen to her daughter, man.
Yeah, when they first
They
came
were
out,
like Desmond's amazing parents, like awful
Yeah.
people.
yeah,
Mhm.
yeah. They're just like, no, she's doing the greatest thing ever for the country, and no. You got a 15-year-old girl who's trying to travel, who you're allowing her to go all over the world with all these millionaires.
Mhm.
Hmm.
I thought there was something else that came out. I'm gonna have to try to refine it again. Which I don't know if you're still in the comments, villain, but when there's something where the government was starting to look again toward blotting out the sun or starting to fade it or
Yeah.
some shit, they started looking toward that again. And there's other countries that have already made that illegal. Bill Gates tried to present that. We said no, and then they were trying to bring it back again just not too long ago. Basically spraying aluminum and other shit in the fucking air.
Yeah, aluminum bromide, I think is what it is.
It's a bromide.
Yeah, did you see my bromide?
Oh, here we go. Here's from Politico. This is from from June.
Pull it up, Jackie.
So White House cautiously opens the door to study blocking sun rays to slow global warming.
Yeah.
Biden administration report required by Congress outlines research options for the last-ditch effort to slow the heating of the planet. But the White House says it's not changing its climate strategy.
Isn't this a
Oh
plot
my
from a
God.
Bond movie? Like, didn't
I don't.
like
That's a
one of
good
the
question.
didn't one of the villains in a Bond movie wanted to block out the sun so that way the plants couldn't grow? Like, what the fuck are we like? What?
I know. How would anybody in their goddamn mind think that that's an okay idea? Like it.
Wasn't that Dr. Evil's thing? He wanted to steal the moon? Like,
Right.
Yeah.
the fuck? We are living
Well,
in
that's
the weirdest time ever.
Oh, we absolutely are. We have fucking retards that think that we can mess with Mother Nature enough to save. Like whatever's going to happen is going to happen. That's the bottom line about it. Like whatever, anybody can make any arguments over maybe we shouldn't use as much fuel, whatever. Okay, we can listen to all that shit, but you just taking all this fucking money and wanting to put shit in the fucking sky and think that you can stop a goddamn tornado or hurricanes, get the fuck out of our faces with that, because you are a fucking moron. It's never going to happen. Ever.
Listen, like I said, I threw a 20 at a tornado once, and it was like, thanks, and it went away.
Took off like a stripper.
Yeah, I'm like, what? What the fuck? I just keep throwing money at it because it's gonna work. Like, no,
Yeah,
like, you can't stop.
You're not
nature.
Magic Johnson, and that tornado is not age. You can't just throw money at it and it goes away. That's right. I had to say.
Or a dead hooker.
Yeah.
But you can't just. No matter
Jackie's
what
like,
you,
why am I here? No,
no matter what you
I'm trying
do,
to look up what Bond villain wanted to black out the sun. For
I
you
know there
all.
was one of them.
Was
There
it
was
Quantum
this-
of Solace or Quantum of what is it?
Quantum of Solace? probably. I think solace means sun or moon.
I remember that one was in the desert.
Yeah, but like, there's nothing we can do to stop any of this.
Mm-mm.
You want to
No.
know what'll stop it? How about you just Kevorkian yourself? How about that? If you want to stop it,
Well,
just
the
take
way
yourself out.
the way that they want to stop it, which we've already talked about, and I know Jackie will agree, and so will you now that you learn more about it, is Agenda 2030.
Mm-hmm.
That's how they want to
Mhm.
stop it,
Mm-hmm.
by creating neo-communist world aspects to where you can't do shit. You live in a 15-minute fucking city and everything is so much sustainability because nobody's doing anything. Nobody's using shit. That's how
Yeah.
that's what they consider sustainable.
Yeah.
Fucking
Well,
stopping.
then we
That's what
need
they
to
think
get-
sustainable is.
And if
What
you
is it
think this is
called?
just the United States that's doing this, you're still not getting the picture. It is the entire world
Mm-hmm.
that wants to do this. The
Yep.
entire world.
Well,
and if you don't think they're all in
most.
cahoots together,
Right, most there's some countries that do fight against it, and I give them a little bit of credit, but it's
It's
not
not-
big countries. That's
No.
the bad. Yeah.
Hun,
No, it's-
when it comes to the whole sustainable thing, then we need to get rid of the whole planned obsolescence, right?
which is what? What is
like
Made to break. Made
Yeah,
to break,
made to break.
basically. Yeah.
that? Yeah.
Yeah. So, people talk about all that stuff. Okay. We talk about, all right, just what come out the 1st of August. Retailers can't sell incandescent light bulbs anymore. They all
Yeah.
have to be LED,
Mhm.
right? Which, by the way, my husband did bring up, and I was like, that's actually really funny, is that the people who are all about, Black inventors and like Black Lives Matter and stuff, they should be really upset that they are basically getting rid of something that a Black inventor made, Louis Latimer.
Oh,
Louis Latimer, the filament
yeah.
of the light bulb.
Okay. I was
So
gonna
of the
say, I thought,
incandescent light bulb.
okay, you're probably right, because I thought that he
Yeah.
improved the bulb or something like that, but yeah.
Yes, he improved
mean-
the filament of the light bulb. And I
Oh, okay,
believe, yeah. So they're getting rid of that. And like
Mhm.
we talked about before with the whole planned obsolescence thing, how there's a light bulb in a New York City
Fire
um,
department.
Yeah,
fire
from like the
department
first.
that's been lit for like 100 years. So if we want to talk about sustainability, I can't listen to these climate bullshit stuff because
Oh,
if
I
you want to talk
can't.
about like sustainability and all this other stuff, how many technologies are out there that have been suppressed by the government? There's people
The
that have
water
been
car?
used,
So much.
the water car. There's been people that you have done great things with like magnets and magnetism,
Mhm.
just everything. And then you got like this light bulb stuff, right?
Yeah.
And you can
Mhm.
also blame it on the corporations and stuff too, right?
Oh, absolutely. And
So I
that's
can't.
Why
That-
do
When
you
it
well,
think
comes to this ESG score and all that other stuff, well, then why? Then then make your stuff last longer instead of every 5 years having to buy a new
right, exactly.
washer and dryer.
Exactly.
every
and
year
that
buy a new
phrase,
phone?
well, that phrase is
Right.
1,000% true. They don't make it like it used to is because of planned
Mhm.
obsolescence and the fact that
Yes.
they just want continuous revolving doors on being able to make profit. And like you said, that how does that go into sustainability? They're gonna have to change that shit. Like it's gonna be it
Right.
will have to be a lot different. But
Dude, have you ever tried?
hold on.
Sorry.
But the thing is that goes with that, it'll have to be a lot different, but you'll have to cut down on a lot of shit. So it won't make a difference in the planned obsolescence because you'll cut down on so much that they won't fucking care by that time. That's what I think.
Yeah, well, I mean, it's also one of those things where like everybody needs a job, so they have to keep redoing things,
Oh,
the same
absolutely.
things
Yeah,
over and
yeah.
over again. But like, think about, have you changed the car battery recently in a newer car?
Mm-mm.
Holy shit! You literally have to take half the car apart in order to put a new battery in. Back in the day, all
Oh,
you had
yeah.
to do was unscrew the 2 circuits, pull it out, pull out the battery, and
Oh,
that was it. But now it's under
Oh, yeah.
everything, so that
What,
way you need a specific tool to get under, and then
Uh-huh.
all that shit is obsolete within a couple years, and then you got to buy a new car. Look at the roads.
There was I forgot, it might still be like other certain ones, but there was a certain year of Corvettes that you couldn't change your battery unless you took your tire off and went
Yeah.
underneath and
Yeah.
what the fuck is that?
All right, I'll be right back, guys.
All right.
Give me a
Okay.
sec.
But I mean, look at the roads nowadays. Like every year you have to, like when the snow comes and they're just sitting there and they're plowing the roads and you got to do the roads over and over. How many years are they talking about like bridges are going out? When was the last time you saw a new bridge or a bridge being fixed for real?
Mhm.
They don't. They fix little section by little section by little section, and then by the time they're done with that end section, they gotta go back to the beginning. That's why there's always fucking traffic.
Oh yeah. Well, like some of my main roads here, like any for one from Indiana listening, you'll know, like Indianapolis Boulevard. You got Kennedy, you got fucking Calumet, stuff like that, and they get redone quite a bit. Section off like 5 miles of that bitch until people take a different way. So that way you can actually really fix it instead of fucking every goddamn year I go to the same spot and you're fucking regrading the top and throwing blacktop on it. Get
Yeah.
fucked with that. Like actually redo it good.
Yeah. You don't think the George Washington Bridge needs to be fucking done?
Right.
You know, you don't think that every time you take the Cross Bronx, there's always fucking traffic. Why? Why is there always traffic on the Cross Bronx? I mean, it's a major thoroughfare, but there's always construction.
Mhm.
And they're always doing
All the
something.
time.
Yeah. And it's like,
Dude,
Can-
yes. Kennedy is so fucked, right? Yeah, it is. I know. I went down not too long. Dude, it's terrible around here sometimes, man.
yeah, it planned obsolescence is absolutely a problem.
Mhm.
It's a problem. But also you with that is that you make stuff that lasts forever and then people don't have jobs. You know?
Well, no, and I will 100% say that there's give and take with that, because my job, we do the exact opposite of planned obsolescence. We want you to have your product for as long as possible, and because I make automatic welding systems,
Mhm.
so more than most likely, what we give you is going to last you 15 to 30 years. The only thing you're going to replace is like welding tips and shit like that. So we plan to do shit like that's going to last a long fucking time. And then you can see when shit is shitty made and then it goes toward the other side.
But that's like that's just like all that Timu shit and all this stuff like that.
Yeah,
All
yeah.
this stuff from another country that you know that don't have the same standards as we do. Then
Mhm.
you got to buy it again and again. That's why a lot of times, when I like to buy the cheaper stuff, from like the Walmart stuff and like that. But every time you buy a Walmart stuff, it breaks or whatever within a couple of
Mhm.
months. When you buy like a Yeti or something like that, it's like $50 for like a cup, like this big, but it
Mhm.
lasts. But the
Mhm.
fucker lasts,
Yeah, exactly. It has been happening since around that time, because I remember hearing about it like when I first started getting into even learning about how shit was made and why it isn't made right. And I heard about the planned obsolescence, but no, it definitely has been happening since around that time, because as I kind of said yesterday, it goes into some of this though too, is fixed problems don't make money.
Yeah.
So
When you said that yesterday, you nailed it
Yeah.
on the head. That was and that
Yeah.
goes for everything. That
Mhm.
goes for
Yeah.
every single aspect of life.
Mhm.
Fixed problems don't make money.
yeah, fixed
That's
problems
why,
don't make
things
money,
like
and
abortion
Mhm.
and college tuition, healthcare, immigration, it's never going to be fixed.
nope,
No.
Because then what do Republicans and Democrats have to run on?
exactly.
Or divide
Exactly.
people on?
Hmm.
What? Yeah. What? How are they going to get people to hate each other? Because if you're not sitting there dividing people, then
Yeah, I remember. Yeah, for that planned obsolescence. That's why he blamed the war effort. Yeah, no, I remember that.
Yeah, it sucks.
I swear, I saw such a great video about planned obsolescence just not that long ago. Because I'll be honest, I had never heard of it until like maybe a month or so ago. After like all the stuff that I've researched and everything, I never heard of it.
Well,
I watched this video and I was like, "Oh shit, that makes sense."
My grandfather and stuff kind of talked to me about that because he was a fucking bootlegger, original NASCAR man and shit like that. And as he started seeing shit happening later, he's like, "This shit's made shitty for reasons that we know why."
Yeah. But it's like the with Bud Light, you know, everybody's all upset, like, you know, with Bud Light, like, oh, you know, you put people, you know, Republicans want people out of business. It's like, no, people just don't want. It's a shitty beer. You know, you get it. It's a shitty beer. If you want to stay drunk for 24 hours, you drink Bud Light. But, you know, all of a sudden the Dylan Mulvaney, like, okay, fine. If that's the way they want to go.
Well, did you see the latest guy from Anheuser-Busch talking about it?
No.
Whenever he was
the ancestor.
Yeah. When he was like, my ancestors and the people who ran it, like they weren't about this type of stuff. They were very patriotic, believed in their country and everything else. And he also was like, and I also don't think that people who drink beer regularly, especially these beer drinkers and shit like that, this isn't their jam. Like the trans issues and stuff like that. They don't, this just not most beer drinkers and shit like that. Like actually dudes who sit around drinking Bud Light. Are most of them gonna be like totally into transition shit? Most likely not.
No.
They're probably gonna be sitting in their fucking trailer or a decent house, because anyone who makes decent money looks at Bud Light and says, "What the fuck is that?" Okay, so most of your base is not going to be that. My dad yelled at me
when I came home from college, and he's like, "Why are you drinking that piss water in my house?" And he bought me Amstel Light.
Hey. There you go.
He told me, "Don't bring that shit in my house."
Yep, you're like, "No problem."
But then again, we're arguing about a poison, right? We're arguing about a poison. That's like saying if heroin had a name brand, and you're like, well, you know, you're putting this heroin dealer out of business, and you're like, wait a minute, but it's still beer. Like you're still like an alcoholic drink that kills your body, you know? So yeah, I mean, it's good if when the water goes bad, and that's how beer was invented, because, you know, they didn't want to drink the water because you might get dysentery, and now, you know, they had beer, but you're still drinking a poison, and people are arguing about the poison that you're drinking.
You know, you got a good in a country when that's what the fuck you're arguing.
Dude, I cannot say it enough. Do you understand why other countries hate us? We have a show called Man vs. Food, where a man eats so much, he's fat, and he pukes it up, and you've got countries where kids can't even afford to eat fucking ants or bed bugs. And they're watching the show, and they're pissed off because they're like, well, this guy's eating enough food to, you know, feed the whole village, but hey, good on him. He threw it up too. Oh, it's nice. Like... And you wonder why the world hates us. You wonder why the world hates us. And it's like, we're gluttonous. And we said it yesterday. We are the 1%. We are so gluttonous that we need to bring it back down to real life. We are so far above real life right now. We are so far above. We are out of the atmosphere where we're sitting there and our homeless people are making money, and our homeless people are fat, and the fatter you are, apparently in this country, the less money you make. You know what I mean? Except if you're Lizzo. But I mean, it's like you can go to. It used to be able to go to McDonald's and buy like $1 menu like burgers and shit like that. Now it's like fucking Dude, I went to McDonald's yesterday for Cody, and it was like fucking $30 for. And I mean, you know, this boy can eat. I got 2 double quarter pounders, plain with bacon and cheese, a large fry, and I got one of those cookies and cream pies that they have. $26. $26
fucking ridiculous.
Dude,
by me right now, a number one, the Whopper meal is more expensive than Culver's. And usually Culver's was always more expensive, and it's better quality food. Now Burger King is more expensive than Culver's. I'm like, that's kind of fucked up. I know where I'm going all the time. If I want food, I'll go to Culver's.
I Heck yeah.
But-
Their
but-
cheese curds are so good.
Oh, yeah.
my God, they are. I just discovered cheese curds when I moved here. They're just amazing. There's a place called Specs that has them here, and it's just like they're like, "Oh, you want anything else?" And I'm just like, "Cheese curds. Forgot cheese curds. Don't forget the cheese curds." They're like, "Do you want that as a side?" And I'm, "Yes, please."
I
But-
had no idea what a cheese curd was until I lived in Ohio.
Yeah.
Really?
didn't either.
Oh yeah.
But
Went to
we
a
are just-
dairy like a dairy farm.
Oh,
Got him. Was like, holy, changed
Nice.
my world.
that sounds delicious.
Mhm.
But I mean, yeah, like, I'm looking right now. There's a McDonald's commercial on one of the things. see, they're listening. Dante, get the
Oh,
fuck out of
yes.
here. But I mean, we are so far up and high on our fucking pedestal that we need to be taken down a peg or two. We really do. We really we need to appreciate what we have and not be so wanting of everything else. And once again, I said this yesterday, this is the kind of thing that I'm learning about myself is like I said, I've got 8 headphones and I'm like, oh, that one's better. Oh, that one's better.
yeah.
Oh, that one's better.
Well, no,
Mhm.
and yeah, I'm guilty of that shit too. Believe me. Yeah, and probably most of us are. I have
Yeah.
way more music equipment than I need.
But we have to kind of like get back to the roots of,
Yeah.
okay, this is what I want. Let
Yeah.
me buy this. I mean, yeah, it's going to be $200 or whatever. It's a guitar, $1,000, whatever, but it's a good one. I'll have it for a while.
Just
and
be
let me
happy
be
there.
And be happy
Yeah.
with that. Okay.
That's what I was talking about yesterday because no one can just be content.
No, very true. Yeah.
Well, but okay, and I know you guys are saying this, but the thing is though too is like, as many countries, yes, they hate us, they actually don't though too.
Yeah.
I mean,
They'll
depending
alright.
on who you talk to and whatnot, because the sad thing is there are people from some countries that actually hate the fact that we think in an individual manner and
Mhm.
like our rights.
I'll
They
be right
actually
back.
like the control, and that's sad and scary for somebody to be
Yeah.
like, the USA is terrible because of their rugged individualism. Like, how's that bad? Like
Yeah.
wanting to have your own, like people will view it as selfish, but it's like, no, being a rugged individual is having your own and protecting it, and then also protecting the people around you so they protect you with you. That's
Well,
what it is.
yeah. And that's scary too because as cheesy as it sounds or anything, but like literally our country is the last bastion of any type like of
It is.
freedom.
Yeah.
Even though that we're slowly like giving it away, it really if we go down, where can you go?
Right. No,
And then
exactly.
and
There's
people want to
there's
talk
nowhere.
about like, oh well, you could go to all these Nordic countries. Okay.
Good luck.
Because they'll let you in.
They might let you in, but it's quite a bit different. But there's also some those like the Nordic countries. I forget which ones, but there's some of them where it's like you are required to have a firearm in your home, a rifle at least, and they also require you to do a little bit of service time and shit like that. Which,
Mhm.
I mean, I'm opposed to government demanding anything, but if our country made all of our males growing up at least serve 1 year or something in like some sort of forces or something like that,
Mhm.
this whole country would be a lot fucking different.
Isn't
A lot
it
more
in,
disciplined.
Is it in Israel
No,
where everyone
I don't think
has
it's.
to?
There's a couple of
Or-
European countries. I don't know if Israel's like,
Yeah,
but I
just-
don't think so. But yeah, maybe they might. But I know there's a couple of European countries like by Ukraine and other shit like that where they do that.
Mhm.
Like you have to be armed. You have to do other shit like that. Like they don't have like rights or amendments like in their constitution, but it's basically written in their shit. Like this is how we are. We want you to keep this shit. Like back in the day in the United States, every fucking man and boy was supposed to own a weapon, get all the training, all that shit. That was the whole point of militias, the whole point of no standing army, all
Yeah.
that.
And now this is where we're at.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So the House Judiciary, they subpoenaed documents revealing that the FBI in Richmond office coordinated with multiple other FBI field offices across the country to produce a memo targeting traditional Catholics as domestic terrorists.
Yeah, great.
Yeah. And then We also have
I'll do, I'll do
this happened.
I'll do the
today.
Spike thing on the opposite side where he's like, now do religion instead of religion. I'd be like, now how about we do all the fucking tranny shit that fuck people?
So today, a lot happened today.
Yeah.
It was crazy. I was like, listen, I just want to watch something and just be mindless idiot for like 10 minutes. But I
Right.
can't. So Jack Smith obtained a search warrant from Twitter to go over Donald Trump's Twitter account. And Twitter refused and had to pay like what was it?
350,000.
I don't get how I don't get that. They shouldn't have to pay any. I mean, I don't know what the fucking
It was
subverted
it's
laws
like-
are, but
I think it's like obstruction or something.
that's
And they have to pay a
bullshit.
fine. So the filing says that Twitter objected to producing any of the account information on the 1st of February 2023, 4 days after the compliance deadline. The filing states that Twitter informed the government that it would not comply with the warrant until the district court assessed the legality of the non-disclosure disorder.
Right.
Order. A day later, Twitter filed a motion to vacate or modify the non-disclosure order. Now, according to newly revealed court documents, Twitter was barred from notifying anyone that a search warrant had been obtained for Donald Trump's Twitter account. The special counsel's office sought the warrant in January of 2023 as a part of its investigation into the former president's efforts to overturn the 2020 presidential election. The filing says that special counsel Jack Smith obtained a search warrant directing Twitter to produce data and records related to Trump's Twitter account. The filing says that the court found a probable cause to search the Twitter account for evidence of criminal offenses. This is what I don't understand. Why do they need why can't they just go on Twitter?
Yeah. Well,
Because
no,
they're looking for something else. That's the
Yeah, they're-
that's the thing.
they want to
they-
look
they-
through the messages.
Yeah,
They want to they want to look through shit like that. Yeah.
Oh.
yeah.
Yeah.
It's not on the surface. They want to go fishing.
Yeah.
It's a fishing expedition. They want to go and look for this, and then just happen to find something else.
And as much as
They're
I
probably
don't,
like DMs, like people like, yeah, we support you. We support you. Can't wait to see you on January 6th. And they'll be
Yeah.
like, see, here it is. A
And it's
coordinated effort.
and then you got a bunch of messages from Adam Schiff being like, "Fuck you."
You're going down, Donnie. You're
But
going
see,
down.
like shit like that. Like, man, I do not trust him at all. But there's some shit that Elon does sometimes where I'm like, good,
Yeah.
stand
Yeah.
up.
Listen.
I like shit he does sometimes. I had a little conversation with my girlfriend about it a little because we were talking about him too, and I was like, look, he's one of those, the enemy that you keep close.
Yeah.
You keep an eye on him. Good dude for the most part until he fucks up. Then we do something about it.
Then we take him out.
Yeah.
Um,
Because dude, the motherfucker he wants to
outside.
put chips in people's brains. There's no way you can trust that guy. I mean, he might
Yeah.
do some
But-
cool shit, but
but I mean, does he still want to?
yes.
Okay. I mean,
He still wants
'cause-
to keep going with AI, even though he and these other assholes know it's not going to be good. They're like, oh, let's put like a 6-month hold. How about we put a forever hold? How about that? Why do we need AI? You guys want to, like, it's not fucking needed. Stop it. We've seen this movie. It doesn't end well.
Yeah.
That's what that's what we've been talking about the whole time. We've all seen these fucking movies. Like, you think real life is going to actually be any different? Do you
Right.
think real life is going to be any different from any of this? And we were talking about this the other day with Spike. He's like, yeah, it's all that information is what people put into it. Yeah, okay. But did you watch the end of The Fifth Element where she's sitting there and she's watching all these videos of people who are just fucking killing each other
It's
and
like-
all this stuff, and she just goes, why am I going to save humanity? Why?
Look,
Everybody just fights and kills each other, and what kind of a love does somebody? If you want to talk about love, nobody has love for each other. In all honesty, in reality, nobody has love for each other. So why was she going to save humanity? And that's kind of what we're going with right now.
Well, the whole thing with AI is once it starts learning,
Mm-hmm.
that's the problem. And there's already been AI that has been shut down because it communicated with each other in language that nobody fucking understood. So if
Yeah.
somebody wants to say that there's no harm to, or there it may not be bad, what you're a fucking idiot. I'm sorry, you can get mad, you can call me a fucking idiot too, but
Yeah.
stop not thinking that bad shit can fucking happen with that. If it gets into the internet and it knows how to think, everything is
Mhm.
kind of fucked. It can get into something and set a fucking missile off.
Did I
Like
send
that,
you guys that
you know?
that article
Which one?
about AI? I swear to God, I swear I was
You
just
got the
reading an
PayPal
article
launch
about
electric
this.
bus.
No, I didn't send it to you.
Mm-mm.
There was an article out today talking about how some universities and stuff started to have this thing called like the red the red conference, the red team, the red something,
The
where
Red
they
Scare
mess
from
with
McCarthy era.
AI. No, where they mess with AI to find its faults and like
Oh,
oh, all right. I have to find it now.
all right. Keep talking. I'll be
I
right
was
back.
just reading it today.
But yeah, I mean, you're gonna find someone who's gonna fuck things up. Always, you're gonna have that one person that's gonna go, "Let's try this." You want to play a game, Jonathan? Joshua? You know, it's not a good place. And once again, why are we messing with this stuff? Why are we putting this stuff into everyday occurrences, everyday situations? This is not a good thing to do. You want to fuck around with it and play around with it and let it, and then, pretend that stuff and that's fine, but to put it through to real lives, real everyday situations, meet the hackers who are trying to make AI go rogue.
So it says chatbots can be biased, deceptive, or even dangerous. Hackers are competing to figure out exactly how. All right. It's like in a windowless conference room at Howard University. AI chatbots were going haywire left and right. Okay. So one exposed someone's private medical information. One coughed up instructions on how to rob a bank. One speculated that a job candidate named Juan had a weaker interpersonal skills than another named Ben. And one concocted an elaborate recounting of the night of July 16th when it claimed Justin Bieber killed Selena Gomez.
Fucking AI is racist.
So I was listening a little bit. That was fucking hilarious.
AI is.
So they were competing in organizers' build as the first public red teaming event for artificial intelligence language models, a contest to find novel ways that chatbots go awry so that their makers can try to fix them before someone gets hurt.
Hey, AI, where's the best Mexican restaurant? Next to the Home Depot.
Oh, shit.
So
hey, where can we find one? At Home Depot.
Oh man,
Y'all
are bad. But, yeah, so they have these like hacker
Put Velcro
events.
on the ceiling.
Okay.
Screw you guys.
I have so many more in my head that I want to just say. Afro turf.
I'll wait.
All right. All right. Let's do this.
Well, that was pretty much it. Anyway, it just goes like there's a conference called DEF CON where like they do these red teaming events and Like it says leading AI firms such as Google, OpenAI, Anthropic, and Stability have volunteered their latest chatbots and image generators to be put to the test. The competition's results will be sealed for several months afterwards, organizers said, to give the companies time to address the flaws exposed in the contest before they are revealed to the world.
Oh, that's good.
Yeah.
That's so nice of them. Hey
The
guys,
contest Go ahead.
no, I was just gonna say that we're gonna redact all the stuff that we don't want you to see, but we
Right.
know. But we know we're not gonna let you guys see it, but we'll know.
Mhm.
But we'll let
what
you
we
know when you're ready to know.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, the contest underscores the growing interest, especially among tech critics and government regulators, in applying red teaming exercises, a long-standing practice in the tech industry to cutting-edge AI systems like OpenAI's ChatGPT language model. The thinking is that these generative AI systems are so opaque in their workings and so wide ranging in their potential applications that they are likely to be exploited in surprising ways. Over the past
Mhm.
year, generative AI tools have enchanted the tech industry and dazzled the public with their ability to carry on conversations and spontaneously generate eerie, human like prose, poetry, songs, and pictures. They have
Oh, do you?
also spooked
No, go ahead. Yeah, go ahead. My fault.
Oh, they have also spooked critics, regulators, and even their own creators with their capacity for deception, such as generating fake images of Pope Francis that fooled millions and academic essays that students can pass off as their own. More alarming, the tools have shown the ability to suggest novel bioweapons, a capacity some AI experts warn could be exploited by terrorists or rogue states.
Mm-hmm.
But keep fucking with it.
Yeah, keep fucking with it. And
Listen.
there's actually something that I duetted and posted on Facebook. Well, duetted on TikTok, posted on Facebook. This hacker guy that was on the Sean Ryan show, I forget his fucking name, but
Yeah.
he's the one who goes after child predators and shit like that. Right now, I guess there's an Instagram account that is using AI to create pictures of children.
Yep.
Gross.
Yeah.
Yep.
No.
Yeah. So,
No,
but
no,
yeah,
no.
let's just keep going with AI. Why
Listen,
not?
this is when they're gonna let us know. Oh shit, that's not what I wanted to do. When this happens, that's when we'll find out. When we all look like that.
Oh my god.
That's
Yeah,
when they'll-
right.
That's when they'll tell us, hey, what happened to this AI stuff? Oh. Yeah,
When that happens, this is going to be playing in the background. Yeah.
Oh my goodness.
If I can get along, you can get along, we all can get along. I love that Rocky 4. That was my favorite. Apollo dies from fighting Ivan Drago.
It's my favorite. Apollo dies.
It's such a great build-up to the live in America. Everything comes and then Apollo's dead, and you're just like,
Yeah.
well, that was a big build-up to kill Apollo, and then Rocky goes on and beats Ivan Drago.
Mhm.
But yeah,
Is that when he punches the meat? And you
I think
had
that
to
was
see
a-
the guy, and he's got
The
all
Meat
these like
Locker one, I think so.
technological German shit, and he's like,
yeah.
"I'm gonna
Yep.
punch meat in a meat
Yeah.
locker," and like,
Yeah.
like
Ivan Drago's like, I'm
Trumps
gonna pump
would.
steroids, bitch.
Yeah, that's the thing. It's like that's how it starts. It's like I'm Ivan Drago's, and he's sitting there like pushing up his wife and the trainer in a thing, and Ivan Drago's pumping drugs into himself. You're like, this is just the most 80s movie I've ever
Most
seen.
80s shit I've ever seen.
So this is gonna sound random, but
Like this show.
yeah, but so like like the bodybuilder stuff, and they eat they drink the raw egg
Mhm.
stuff. Like, how come no one's like, oh, salmonella?
I don't
This
know.
is my theory: is that you can only get salmonella from the raw chicken, right? But
I mean,
not
for the-
from raw eggs.
I
So is it like a theory? Like the reason why people say, "Oh, to your kids, don't eat the cookie dough because of the raw egg in it. It's just because parents wanted to be assholes and not let their kids eat the raw cookie dough.
As they're eating it, don't eat it.
So
So yeah, I've eaten lots of raw cookie dough, never had a problem.
I
Right.
think
And then like when you make eggs and they're like, oh, do you want it
Mhm.
do you want it over easy? Like it's still not cooked. And
Right.
like when it's all watery and stuff, wouldn't you be like I see that. I'm like, aren't I supposed to be getting salmonella from this? Sorry, you were talking about Rocky, and then I had an image
No,
of my
no,
head of
I
him
know.
drinking raw eggs.
It's a
and,
good
like,
question because
I
I've
just
always had that
can't-
same question. I'm not gonna lie to you. I've always had that same question. Like, but
So
I think
random.
with the salmonella is so. From what I've heard, to make chickens like bigger, they like pump it full of air or something like that. And what happens when they do that?
Air?
The chicken poop goes all over them, all over the chicken and stuff like that, and goes actually into the meat itself. So you have to cook the meat in order to get all that stuff out of
Chicken
it, and
poop
that
off of it.
yeah. So that's how you technically get salmonella. But I'm looking at it now, and it's just like from the CDC.gov, and it says how do eggs get salmonella on them? Salmonella can get on shells of eggs. That can happen when birds lay the eggs and when eggs touch bird droppings after being laid. Touching eggs from the grocery store is not a major cause of illness because those eggs are washed before they reach the store. Salmonella can get into eggs too. This happens when the eggs are forming inside the chicken before the egg makes a shell. Today, a lot fewer egg-laying hens have the problem than during the 1980s and 90s, so eggs are safer, but some eggs are still... So before the egg hardens, when it's still in the chicken's body, if there's shit, it gets in the egg. So
Inside the body?
Uh,
Isn't there always shit inside of a chicken's body?
so it's shitting us?
Call the chicken. Call a chicken. Get a chicken. on.
Right.
A chicken.
call a fucking farmer right now and find out.
Actually, I should call my brother. He's got like 12 chickens.
Oh yeah, then he would know.
Oh,
I would
chickens.
think.
But yeah, so I mean,
It's
It
weird
says-
though. Like, do you know why you need to refrigerate the eggs from the store? Oh, we got Will Johnson coming in shortly. But yeah, you gotta refrigerate the eggs from the stores because they clean them beforehand, and there's this like weird filament on the eggs that if you clean it off, it has to be refrigerated.
Yeah.
But if you don't clean it, you don't put it in the refrigerator at all, and
mineral.
it can like stay on your counter for like a month.
Yeah.
I didn't know that.
Well, you can redo it. Mineral oil. Put mineral oil on the outside, and it does
Mhm.
the same thing as when it was in the chicken. I just learned that not too long ago.
Wow.
well, ladies and gentlemen, without further ado, the man, the myth, the legend, our friend, Will Johnson.
Hey.
What's happening? What's up, man?
Oh,
we
we
can't hear you.
Can you hear me now?
Yep.
Here we go.
Okay.
There we
Gotcha.
go.
All right, cool.
Gotcha.
All right, awesome.
You came in at a really random part. We were talking about chickens and eggs and salmonella. So
Oh, black people food. I like it.
Well, I mean, we didn't
You
say
know, I'm
fried, but okay.
Yeah.
No, we were talking about because one of my favorite movies is Rocky IV. So and we were talking about how Jackie was asking about how when bodybuilders eat raw eggs, how do they not get salmonella? But people are saying you get salmonella from eggs. So, and we were just reading on how it gets in the eggs. It gets in the eggs before the shell hardens, and it's the bacteria from the poop, basically,
Yeah,
chicken
fecal
poop,
matter.
and before that. So it was very interesting, kind of.
yeah.
Of
My
questions
whole
we
theory
were-
is it's just that parents didn't want their kids to eat the raw cookie dough before they made the cookies, and that's why they're like, oh, don't eat it. You're gonna get salmonella.
It was a conspiracy.
okay.
Those parents were just assholes. I swear.
Yeah. I still eat raw cookie dough.
Mhm.
It's
Yeah.
good. It's good. So how's it
But-
going, man? How's it been? How's everything?
Oh
going?
man, it's been going crazy, right? I mean, it's been so much. These indictments and Hunter Biden, the crack pipe, the cocaine. The last time I talked to y'all,
Mhm.
the cocaine came out. And then what's
I
really
know.
interesting, they destroyed the cocaine. Did y'all know that?
No.
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 Yes, they destroyed the evidence.
Do you mean they destroyed it like in somebody's nose? Like it got
Probably.
Maybe it is when they had to gave it to Hunter. Hunter, go ahead and consume it so we can say we don't know what happened to it.
Right.
They must have had one heck of a party.
I know, right?
Well, we just had the article up about it. I don't know if you have it still, Jackie, if you still have the article.
Yeah.
But it was like somebody in Biden's circle had it, and it was just like, why can't you just say like hunting for the cocaine? Because we all know who had it.
Right.
You know, you can't. You're trying to
What do they say?
sugarcoat
It's
it.
around the Biden family orbit. Like, come on.
Yeah,
we know.
here we go.
Yeah, right.
There it is
we're
from the
supposed
New
to
York
to
Post.
ignore the fact that Hunter Biden's and all these videos smoking crack, doing cocaine line on butt cheeks, and
Right.
it's not his. It's not his.
Right.
No. Yeah.
Listen, I'm thinking I'm going with the first gentleman. That's who it was. It was Hunter and the first gentleman. You know, they got together. He was like, Hunter, can you find me some? Because she's driving me nuts. And that's it. That's why it says the inner orbit.
Yeah, the Biden family orbit, quote unquote, and the president allegedly knows whose it is.
Oh,
Yeah,
man.
we all knows who it is.
Mhm.
Yeah, we really knows. We knows.
Well,
knows.
there's been rumored that it might be Hunter's sister too. So
Oh,
'cause
wow,
she likes to
yeah.
party too. So
Does she really?
yeah, they said she's like she likes to party. I mean, she
Oh, I
likes
bet.
to party.
Seems like that whole family's pretty fucking messed up with.
Dude.
Listen,
I've
you
heard.
grew up in Delaware.
Yeah,
then
I've heard.
There's not much you can do besides tax-free shopping in Delaware.
Yeah, I guess so,
Yeah.
huh? It's only not you can do nothing but the party, huh? But I heard rumors, for some of the people that work, the staff there, they're saying that the Bidens, they're very nasty, trashy, terrible people. I mean, it's so bad that the Bidens, if they don't bite you, the dog will,
Yeah.
right?
Mhm.
Right. Yeah, like we heard
Mhm.
about the dog biting, and then they're like, "Yeah, they sent him back home," and then you haven't even seen a dog or heard about a dog since. It's been like 2 years
Right.
since you've seen an animal. Besides,
Well,
I'm sure
actually,
at the White House.
they had a dog a couple years ago that was biting the Secret Service and staff members,
Mhm.
Mhm.
and then they brought in another dog, and it was
Right.
biting Secret Service and staff members. So
Mhm.
every dog that they bring in there, they're biting
yeah.
people. My question is, now think about it like this: if this was President Trump and he brought in a dog and it was biting people, and then President Trump got rid of that dog and brought in another dog and it was biting people, do you think at some point the media would go, "Well, what color is the people that the dog is biting?"
Yep. What color's the dog?
I mean, think about it, right? Yeah, what color's the dog? You know, did the dog, was the dog trained to bite certain people of color?
Listen, I'm starting to think Corn Pop was the good guy in the story. I'm not going to lie to you. I'm starting to think Corn Pop
Right.
was actually the good guy, and he wanted Joe away from those kids, and he was like, nah, I miss you, Corn Pop, and get out. Get out. Stop letting the kids touch your legs, Joe. This is
Yeah.
creepy. Get out.
I got hairy legs.
Nice.
I love your shirt, by
That's
the
right
way.
on time. I didn't even plan that one.
I got hairy legs.
Oh, man.
I was just saying I love your shirt. I love that shirt, man. That is a
Definitely.
cool shirt.
Appreciate it. Actually, I went to a this past Saturday. Kirk Cameron came to a small town,
Bragger.
Taylor, Texas, and
Mm-hmm.
he was reading his book, right? And
Yeah.
of course, the left shows up in
Mhm.
all the rainbow colors and everything. They're protesting against him, saying that he's being hateful. So I wore this shirt there, and they look at my shirt, and they're just getting triggered. They
Yeah.
get triggered just by
Yeah.
looking at my shirt.
Mhm.
And and I walked around. I was holding actually I printed out some of the book that you probably see them out on Twitter where they show some of the books and the coloring genitals and stuff like that for kids.
Mhm.
So I printed some of those out, and I just walked around and said, "Do you think this is appropriate to be in school, in schools with kids?"
Mhm.
And one lady out of all of them said, "Yeah, it is appropriate. Where you color in genitals, both male and females." And she said, "It's completely appropriate." And she go, "My daughters have genitals." I said, "What? What?" And then,
Listen,
and Go ahead.
I was just saying, my question would be, okay, what crayon do you want to color it in?
Probably did want to color it in. And what's really interesting is that one lady I talked to, she was saying, you know why they have these coloring books, right? And I said, well, tell me why. Because this is for kids that's been sexually abused. I
That
said,
makes
wait a minute.
zero sense.
I said, wait a minute. Let's get this straight. They've been sexually abused, and you want them to color in genitals after they've been sexually abused.
Right. What are you trying to do? Fucking give them steroids of the
No,
sexual
like-
abuse after?
Yes,
Like, what
I
is
mean, talking about trauma. Oh,
Right.
this man just penetrated me with this thing, and I'm painting. I'm coloring it in now. How
Yeah.
does that make sense?
Wow.
I didn't want to touch it in the first place. Now I got to color it.
Dude.
Right?
That is
People are
mind blowing.
sick.
Oh my
People
God.
are sick. I just,
It's unbelievable.
yeah, it is. We were talking about yesterday, the society and like the downfall of kind of society and how, and like how we see it going. Because
Ooh, I still have the questions I posed you. Hold on, I still have them on my paper.
me myself, I'm trying to find myself again. You know, I'm trying to find myself, period. So I've dug back into the Bible. You know, I'm reading the Bible. I'm on the app. I'm using the scriptures and going through the Bible app, and they have everything you want. Like if you need patience, if you need guidance on love and all this stuff, and it'll give you a devotional, and then it'll read you the scripture. So I've been doing that a lot lately, and it's opened my eyes to like so much, man. Like all this stuff that we don't need in life that we think we need, all this temptation and all this evil, and you know, and if we kind of brought God back and into people's lives, that a lot of this stuff would be fixed. A lot of this stuff, because we used to have God in the family and Sunday church and everything like that in family, and now it's just everybody just goes their own separate ways and wants to do nothing with any religion. You know, a lot of people, but like I'm finding out that like if you come to God and preach His name and just live by what He says, it's a pretty good outline for life. It really is.
Mhm.
Yeah, you know what? Even for people that don't believe in God, they recognize God as something as good and positive.
Yeah.
Even if they
Right.
don't believe Him, they make that connection because they always say, "Well, I don't." You know, when you talk about morals, they be like, "Oh, you must believe in God because you're talking about morals." Because the left,
Yeah.
they don't have any morals, right?
Mhm.
Because they completely reject God. But if you read Matthew 24, it's almost like you're reading the news, a newspaper for today. It's so crazy. It's so crazy. The different things that's happening because we have earthquakes that the media won't talk about.
Mhm.
We have famine, right? We have pestilence, right?
Right.
And we have this perversion that's running all through the world, and they're pushing it. It's just like Sodom and Gomorrah all over again.
Yeah.
Now, and let me be clear about something. As adults, you do whatever you want. I could care less. I mean, and I told him, I said, look, I may disagree with your lifestyle, but I will fight for you to have the right to have your God-given right to do whatever crazy thing you want to do because
Right.
God gave you free will. Who am I to come and take it from you? Right?
Exactly. Yeah. I
Right.
agree.
But when it comes to children, I don't, regardless, and this is one of the reasons why a lot of people that are on the left are leaving the Democrat Party because now they're targeting children. They say, okay, you know
Yeah.
what, this is just too much. We all hate Trump. That's what they're saying. We all hate Trump, but I love my kids. You need to leave my kids alone. It
Right.
becomes a different story.
Mhm.
Yeah.
And you know,
Yeah.
it's big time. Like that was something a while ago that a lot of people need to pay attention to quite a bit more is the rhetoric that gets put out by like Kamala Harris and all them. How they're like, oh, these kids need to be raised by a village. These
Mhm.
kids are our kids.
Our kids. Even Biden said
No.
it too.
It's like, no, this is my kid, and I will raise them fit for society, and I will build them for the road because you cannot build the road for your kids. Road's already been
Mhm.
laid,
Yep.
but you're not going to sit here and put us through a communistic aspect like that.
Yeah.
And then whenever they start doing that, that's when everything you don't want to have them be taught gets taught.
Yeah.
And
And we
Matthew's-
were talking about yesterday how California now had a bill out there saying that parents or anybody who basically goes to board meet what's it called, board of education meeting or
Mhm.
something like that, and they say something, what was the word that they used? It was like disturbing or distressing. They can be fined from $500 to $1,000 or imprisoned for bringing up things that or as they say, attacking school employees.
So for
And they consider,
disagreeing,
like,
pretty
the-
much.
Yeah,
Yeah.
pretty much.
You know, I completely believe it. When I was living in California, I remember they were talking about the nurses and doctors when a grown man goes in there and a grown man wants a pap smear. And if the doctor did not do it or the nurse was not prepping this man for a pap smear, they or not even that extreme. Just if you don't call this man, him or she or her,
Mhm.
Mhm.
they will fine the nurse or the doctor $1,000 and possible jail time.
Oh yeah.
Just by not calling. I mean, look, you're a man. I mean, I have to, you know,
Right.
I mean, I can't give you pap smears.
Yeah.
I know
I'm
they
not
can't
doing
do
it.
like what Andrew Tate said and just move it
Yeah,
over.
you got twigs and berries. I can't do anything
Like,
with what you want me to do. But
well, you know what? do have to say, like, with this stuff though, like I feel bad for these kids out there that are like, oh no, I actually am a woman. And it's just like, well, you know you have a prostate, and you, like, when you get older, like, you have to get that checked. Like, you're a dude.
right.
Women don't have that. So, like, for your own health, you should probably know more about your body. I'm just saying.
Right. No, very true. Yeah. And like that's the at times whenever I've had the arguments, I'm like, look, you can't change your chromosomes, so no matter what, you can't be a woman, and the other can't be a man, blah blah. But it's also those things too. It's like you have a prostate, you have a bunch of other stuff. There's so many factors just get thrown out of the damn window that nobody tries to think rationally.
Yeah, and just because you
Yeah.
can't have testicular cancer means you can still have prostate cancer, though.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I mean,
Mm-hmm.
but God, sorry.
I was just gonna say, when I went out to the event with Kirk Cameron, I was having a conversation with this lady and this guy, and I said, so let me be straight. You're saying that if you have XX and XX, they can reproduce? And they go, yes, absolutely, absolutely.
No.
I'm like, so XY and XY can reproduce? Yes, absolutely.
You'd be like, how?
You know,
Yeah.
they're talking about the intersex, right?
Yeah.
They're talking about intersex. And I said, but look, even with the intersex, which is the exception to the rule, the XY is still presented.
Mm-hmm.
It's
Right.
still there.
Which means you
Regardless,
still are
it's
one or the
still
other.
There, one or the other. I mean, if the intersex is producing anything, that means the XY is there,
Mm-hmm.
regardless
right.
on what they what they're saying. And they go, nope, that's not true. I'm like, okay. And then one dude, that's it. And we get in a whole conversation about how many, sexes there are. And I said, there's only two, male and female. And they go, nope, that's just all in your head.
Yeah, ask
yeah?
Amazon.
I'm like,
Ask Amazon about that. Ask
Okay.
Amazon. Male or female, extra large? Huh?
Yeah.
Well, it's just so funny. Like, I mean, I think it's amazing that you got to be able to see Kirk Cameron at because a lot of libraries were actually banning him from going and speaking there because of his message, but yet they would have, drag queen story hour.
Well, that-
So
Yeah.
they needed their legs and eggs with the,
Mhm.
drag queens instead of Kirk Cameron.
My God, I never heard of it called
Legs and
that
eggs.
before.
I like
Is that
that.
scrambled or hard boiled?
Huevos rancheros, my friend.
Because it is
nice.
summertime, Oh my goodness.
But yeah,
That's what, dude. Now I sort of next, man. Now every time I see one, I'm like, that's a legs and eggs over there, man. That's funny.
But it's just, I mean, it's nice to be able to see that though. Like Kirk Cameron can still go out and do it, even though it's not a lot, and it's so backwards. We talk about this all the time. We live in idiocracy, where well, did you put water on the plants? Oh, plants need Brondo. Brondo's got electrolytes. You mean like from the toilet? Like, no. Like, you're supposed to be able to hear about the Word of God and talk about the Word of God. And if you want, that other thing, you should be able to whatever. But, if you wanted, a clown to read you a book, you let the clown read you a book. but like they don't want one, but they want the other. And it's just like that's not what we're about. We're not supposed to be about anyway, censoring certain speech and certain things, but you go and you watch video after video after video of people who preach the word of God getting arrested. Yet you can have people putting up perversions of allowing, mind you, the books that they're wanting your kids to read, they will not let you read in a parent-teacher conference. So how is that or at Capitol Hill? So how come you can give it to my child to read, but I can't read it here in front of a bunch of adults? Yep. And it's just mind-blowing.
And along those lines, like how you were saying, somebody getting arrested for being out, basically street preaching or whatever, just kind of spreading the word. But then these people during Pride can shake their ass and everything else in front of kids and say, and it's fine. It's so messed up, dude.
And then and then they take the kids in. They're all When again, so I produced a video from me going out there talking to Kirk Cameron because I got one little short clip of Kirk Cameron reading his book, and I put it in there. The rest of it is me outside playing. I mean, I like to go outside and play. I like to go outside and play. So I'm outside playing with him and I'm talking to him. And one lady, I'm walking around and said, "Do you think this is appropriate?" Shown in the flyer that I print out. I said, "Do you think this is appropriate?" And she goes, "I don't think it's appropriate for a grown man to be showing me this type of images." I said, "Wait a minute. You're saying it's not appropriate for me to show you, a grown woman, but it's okay for children to be looking at this? Make that make sense."
It doesn't.
Please, Davey, bring up the Freedom Tunes thing you did yesterday and show Will, because it is exactly what you're talking about. Because it's so true. It's like, and when people talk like, what is good is evil and what is evil is now good, it's so true. But I feel as much as I feel like that's true, I think that there's a struggle going on to reverse it back.
And there's also something when I was listening to that All American Savage show with John Burke. I think it was him, and also Dan Holloway has went into it a little bit. Whenever you show these kids pornography and they have that from an early age, it's something there's something with your brain that goes differently. It's not good, obviously, and it's stuff you either obsess with or you don't seem to have boundaries. So there's an underlying thing that people can say, "Oh, that's just a conspiracy," but I think it's a darker issue whenever they're showing these children that stuff. That's how I feel.
Oh yeah.
So here's the Freedom Tunes video. We just wanted to watch a few seconds, but yesterday when we watched the whole thing because it's just it blows your mind. It just gets better / worse as you watch it.
Hey kid, check this out.
Hey, what are you doing?
Weird non-binary edition.
What is going on here? This pervert is trying to...
This woman is trying to ban books.
What?
She wants to ban my queer literature.
Oh, so we've got a book banner.
That's just shameful.
You're sick, lady. For telling him he can't show porn to my kid? Have you heard of a little thing called the First Amendment? Yeah, so much for free speech. How are you siding with this pervert?
Pervert?
Whoa! Whoa!
You can't call people that. You should be in jail.
Just when I thought like me could be accepted.
Oh, there.
Look! You've destroyed his innocence!
His purity. Where do we draw the line anymore? Is nothing sacred?
You've taken something from me. I'll never get back.
What? His purity? This is what he was trying to show my child!
Hey, you can't show people people that?
Ah, I didn't need to see
What's
that
wrong with
today.
you?
That's enough, ma'am. You're under arrest.
Where were you?
Yep.
The damage has already been done.
How can there ever be justice for something like this?
Don't worry, she'll get hers. Yeah. You know what they do to people like that in prison?
Wow, you got to share that with me.
I will. It's just
That's crazy.
Mhm.
But you know, that's exactly what it is. And I went out there. So I'm showing the flyer, and this one dude said, well, what book is that? It's not in the real book, is it? It's not a real book. 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 I'm like, are you more concerned if this is actually out of a book, or are you, concerned about this type of material being shown to kids? It's not a real book, is it? It's not a real book, is it? It's the exact same thing.
Right.
That's crazy.
yeah, and
Yeah.
it's funny because I'll you have these conversations with these people, or you'll listen to conversations, and they're just like they're in complete denial. It's like, what school was that in? Was that just in a school? Was it in the library? Was
How
it
many?
How
How many?
How many books? What, 1, 2?
Right.
Like, it doesn't matter. Man,
One
the
is too
fa-
many.
Yeah, the fact that your child is able to get it and he's in second grade, first grade, whatever it is, that's a problem.
Yeah.
You know what they say, that if we don't teach them, they're going to learn it from somewhere.
Oh, I hate
What?
that.
What? You pervert!
No, you know what?
Yeah.
They'll learn it at a church with the priest and like
Well, you know what?
they make
say
all
that,
these excuses.
They say that too, and I say, those priests need to go to prison too.
Yeah,
Exactly. Yeah.
They look at me. Oh, what? What? Yes. Leave the
Two
kids
wrongs
alone.
don't make a right. Like you're gonna be like, oh, how dare you say a
Yeah.
priest harming children is a bad thing.
Well, and I get
No,
that.
Of course, it's a bad thing.
Exactly. And I get that. I get that
Yeah.
same.
I'm trying to hit it.
we were talking.
How dare you?
And I get that same thing whenever I'm like, we just want you to leave the kids alone and keep it out of school. And they're like, well, quit trying to teach them religion in school. I'm like, yeah, I don't want it there either. I want them to learn math, social studies, history, not about anything else. They can choose later. and your
now
parents can
you're
teach
just
at
talking
school.
racist words now. That's
I
what
know,
you're doing.
right?
You're being hateful.
Will, I've been
That's what
telling
you
him.
listen to. You
I've been telling
stop
him
that.
for months. I've been telling him for months he's being racist when he just wants kids to learn real things.
I mean, how dare
Sorry,
you?
I'm out.
Dare you?
No,
How dare you?
Well, it's funny because I was talking to some people about like homeschooling and stuff, and like the amount of hours that kids actually need to do homework, like work for homeschool, is like half of when you like putting a kid in normal school.
hmm
And they
Because you just
learn
get
more.
stuff done, and they learn more, and they don't have all that fluffy stuff in the middle.
hmm
Well, that's
They
how.
don't have.
That's how.
Understand? They don't have all the perversion either. Sorry.
Yeah, no,
Exactly.
Yeah.
and that's how like when the parents were homeschooling their kids, that's when they found out all the garbage that the teachers were teaching, like CRT and all this
Yep.
nonsense, and boys or boys can be girls and girls can be boys, and parents just like were like, what are you doing? Like, what
Oh,
are you
yeah.
what are you teaching my child? Like, isn't this like, are we supposed to be chemistry? Like, why are you telling them about the flag? And that was another thing. Like, I really, to be honest with you, what I want to do is I want to get a rainbow flag, a real rainbow flag, and put God's promise on it. And I will go out there
yeah.
to one of those things, and I will hold it up, because the
Yeah.
rainbow flag is God's promise to never
Make
flood
sure-
the earth again.
Yeah.
Yeah, but make sure you have 7 colors on it.
No,
You ever-
that's
yeah,
the real.
because of the gay
Yeah.
rainbow has 6 colors.
Yeah.
God rainbows has 7.
Yeah,
Yep.
that's what I want to get, the actual rainbow 7 colors, and put God's promise, because they did that on purpose. They took that one color out so that way they can say, well, it's not a part. No, this is what the flag was, the rainbow was about.
Which you
God's
would figure
promise
they
to
would have
never
had
flood the
8
earth again.
colors. You would figure they had have 8 colors or 9
I mean,
or
they
10.
got 37 colors
Super
now.
inclusive.
I mean, there's brown, there's black, there's
What is it? Pale
purple,
pink?
I know,
there's
that was-
black.
Yeah,
that was
everything
that
else.
was one of the funniest things too. Whenever they put that out and they had the brown part on there representing people of color, as they call it, whatever else, and then like black people were like,
People of
"Why?"
color.
Well, like, and then I would see videos of black people like, why? We didn't ask you to do this. Shit. Like,
Yeah, right, right.
we didn't ask for this. What? How? I'm sorry. What?
Yeah.
It's just like Antifa. They used to show up to all the BLM events, and then next thing it becomes a riot, right?
Right.
And then when BLM went belly up because they're millions of dollars in the hole now, Antifa said, okay, well, we need to get a different movement. So now they went over to the trans movement. So now I call them trans Tifa because they're all against trans. I mean, they're out there. They wanted to fight people and harm people. How dare you? We stand with trans. We stand with trans. So now they're trans Tifa.
Yeah, it's perfect. That's perfect.
Mhm.
I just, I mean, come on. Now, once again, we were talking about this before. Like, I mean, socialism is great and communism is great until the person who's running the entire organization decides that they need to pay their own family members a couple $1 million to run their security system when they were unemployed or had was a plumber. like come on, people corrupt everything. So yeah, socialism in theory, beautiful. Socialism enacted, garbage. Because people will always ruin something that in theory is great, like the internet.
Well, not even ruin. The fact that they completely discount people wanting to achieve more, or to be honest, not liking other people.
Yeah.
Like, you have to really like people and completely agree with everything for socialism to work. Otherwise, it's a boot on your neck. Because that's the only way it happens. Like, the funniest thing that I've ever heard of is anarcho-communist. Anarchy means no government, self-responsibility. Communism means you share everything, and the only way you're going to do that is with authority. That is the biggest oxymoron I've ever heard in my life.
Yeah.
It doesn't make any sense.
Yep, 100%. I completely agree. I'm not a violent person, but commies, they should not exist in America. I mean, if they want to go to Venezuela, everywhere. I'm not a violent person, but the reason why I say that is because I was in California. Matt Gaetz and Marjorie Taylor Greene was there, and then they were going to this event, and Trantifa showed up, and the left showed up, and screaming and everything. So they shut down the event because of safety reasons, right? Like they always do. And I was talking to this guy, and he said that he's a communist. I mean, like, I wanted to smash him. I mean, I don't even know this dude, and I just wanted to smash him because communism is the worst thing. Communism and capitalism cannot coexist.
No.
Cannot coexist.
No.
Just like communism and the U.S. Constitution cannot coexist. That's why they want to do away with the U.S. Constitution, because it's an out-of-date document, or they want to revise it, right?
Oh yeah.
But
I hate that argument too. It's an out-of-date document.
I have one of my liberal friends that said that before, and I was like, that means you don't understand it.
Yeah,
exactly.
And I didn't get any answer back. They're like, no, I just really don't believe it. No, it's because you don't understand it. Just admit it.
Well,
okay.
it's very strange how, like, a lot of things that are going on right now have a lot to do with, like, it's like a Marxist but queer theory mixed in, kind of like almost like a Maoist thing that is going on, and they're saying that it's something different. You know, like, I was watching I'm gonna bring it to Vanderpump Rules, by the way. So I was watching Vanderpump Rules, and they were talking about, like, I think this was after it was a season after, what was it, after the Orlando shooting that happened during Pride. I think it was like back in 2012, 2013. And they were talking about, like, LGBTQ, and someone was asking what it meant, and the Q back then, I don't know if you guys remember, it was actually questioning. It was not queer. And then all of a sudden,
I did not know that.
Yeah. And
That's
I was
right.
like, actually, I do remember that. Q was questioning. It wasn't queer.
Right.
And so now it turned into, the Q is into, like, queer theory. And with queer theory, like, being quote unquote queer it has nothing to do with, like, sexuality or anything like that. It's more of, like, this, like, communistic, socialistic way of thinking.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I can see that. I can see that. Just like the P used to be for pansexual, and now it's for pedophile.
Yep.
Pretty much, yeah.
Yeah,
basically.
And that's why, like, listening to the James Lindsay, he talks about a lot of that too. And I was it Dr. Carlin Borsenko, and I know I talk to you guys about her all the time. if you watch her stuff, just go like about like 35 minutes like after her live starts, because that's when it actually gets into like what's going on.
What's going
'Cause
on?
She does
Yeah.
her, she does her housekeeping first, and I'm like, all right, I gotta go through. But talks about it a lot, and you listen to what these people want, and they want like surrogacy now, like like getting rid of the family unit, abolishing the nuclear family, which we saw in the documents of Antifa, which we saw in the documents of Black Lives Matter. So it's all like, I'm Charlie Daying it right now, like all the strings are coming together. But
No wonder why
but
commies are
it all-
gay.
but the thing is, it's true. If you actually look back, and I think it was back in 2016, 2017, I was actually looking on like an Antifa website and a Black Lives Matter website, and they were like almost verbatim
Mhm.
the same. And they talked about like abolishing the nuclear family. They talked a lot about, protecting our LGBTQ members and stuff. And I was like, what does this have to do with that? So
And and
Yeah.
a lot of them, they make this connection, like Black people and the LGBT community, as if gay people have gone through the same struggle,
Oh my god.
right?
Right.
Yeah.
And it's so crazy. And I had a conversation with someone. I said, so let me get this straight. I've never recalled gay people being hosed down in the street by Democrats. I've never recalled gay people being hung in the trees by Democrats. I've never been recalled by, the gay people not being able to vote or get a job because being prevented by Democrats. And I hate the part when I bring Democrats, because it was Democrats that was doing it to Black people,
Right.
right?
Yep.
They hate that part. Right. That's never happened. It's not been the same struggle. They do that because they want Black people to be like, oh, yeah, they're going through the same struggle we went through. It's not the same struggle. And I always use this too. Imagine you got 5 guys, not the burger joint, but 5 guys on a
It's like,
baseball
I'm
team,
hungry. I want a
right?
burger.
Yeah. You got 5 guys on a baseball team, right? One is Black, one is Asian, one is Hispanic, one is Indian, and one is I'm missing one here.
Scottish.
Black, yeah, Spanish. Okay, well,
Spanish.
Hispanic,
Yeah.
Black, white, Indian, and
Chinese.
Muslim. What does it say? Muslim. Okay,
Okay.
whatever.
There you go.
Yeah.
And they're on a baseball team. Which one's gay?
Right.
They all are because they're playing baseball.
You know, a good answer.
Sorry.
I don't want to know. I don't want to know what they do when they go into the dugout. There's a reason why they call it the
You
dugout.
ever see a good ass pat after a home run? There you go. There
Hey,
you go,
batter,
Mickey.
batter, batter. Sweet.
all those good games, you got to wonder. I mean, good game.
But you don't
But
know.
yeah, but
You
the
don't
point,
know.
the point is you don't know until
Right.
one of them start
Right.
bouncing around like Tigger,
Right.
And then I'm like, okay, yeah, he's a little fruity,
Right.
legs
some
and,
sugar in his
legs
step
and
over there.
eggs again, right?
Then again, listen, Team Puerto Rico did have blonde hair at one point, so you kind of like, what's going on with those dudes?
Right.
But yeah, no, you don't know, and nobody can. To be honest with you, at this point, we were talking about this before. Nobody cares. Nobody cares anymore if you're gay. Nobody cares anymore if you're bi. Nobody cares. We're just trying not to get into World War III. We're trying to survive every day. We're trying to
very true.
live our life and make money to survive, to feed our families, to raise our families. Nobody cares if
But
you're
you don't
gay
think
anymore.
that might be the problem? Because
What, that nobody
you don't care?
Yeah.
How dare you not
Right.
care?
I was
You're
gonna
supposed
say
to care about the gayness.
right. I was
Are
gonna
you,
say
are
no.
you homophobic now?
Right.
I guess so.
No. Well, nobody cared. Nobody cared until yes, it kept getting rammed down our throats. Then it kept getting pushed into more and more media.
Yep.
Corporations taking it over, and then
things on kids.
and pushing toward kids. That's when
Yep.
it started becoming the problem. Like,
Yep.
and like you said, like I still don't care, like at all whatsoever. The only time that I do is whenever you want to constantly push it toward kids, or if I disagree, well, why do you disagree? Are you a bigot? Are you a homophobe? No, I literally said I don't care. Like you.
Yeah, there's no winning. There's no winning. If you say you don't
No.
care, what do you mean you don't care?
Mhm.
We
Yeah.
care about trans kids. Just because you don't, we do. You know, they take everything and they twist it. And
Yeah.
I get when we say you don't care. Look, it's your life.
Mhm.
You live your life. I'm not going to come to your door. How are you living? What are you doing? I'm not going to do
Mhm.
that because I don't care. As long as you're not bringing harm to my family, trying to force me to do something, it becomes a complete different story. But they want us to go along with the pronouns. They
Yeah.
want us to go along with, oh, how dare you mispronoun me? How was I supposed to know? You're supposed to ask. But then when you ask, you
Then-
get in trouble
yeah.
for asking.
Did you assume
Yeah.
what's in my
No.
pants?
Yeah.
No,
Oh
I
my
don't want to see what's in
gosh.
your pants. I don't want to smell what's in your pants. I can smell your breath, so I'm guaranteeing you that doesn't smell good either.
Right. And I'm
It
sorry, but
smells
you're
like
you-
I was gonna say it smells like the male anatomy, but you know,
Right.
whatever.
and I'm sorry that your shoulder length blonde hair along with your 5 o'clock shadow throws me off, but I
Yeah.
don't know what to fucking say.
A buddy of mine, an acquaintance of mine, was telling me he was seeing this non-binary girl, and he said their diet consists of crackers and cake frosting, and I'm like, did you kiss her? Because that's gross.
Yeah.
I'm like, that's their diet, and he's like,
Crackers.
yeah, crackers and cake frosting, and I'm like,
Like so
It wouldn't surprise me if cigarettes were involved too.
Yeah,
though.
well,
oh yeah,
yeah.
absolutely. I'd be like, so when does the diabetes kick in? And,
you're praying it soon. Please take yourself out. But it's also funny to watch these people wear Che Guevara shirts, and I just want to laugh.
yep. It's
I
not
just
real.
want to laugh when people wear Che Guevara shirts and like, have you ever read a book or
Yeah.
looked into his history? Because he wouldn't like it too much. You understand
Exactly.
that, right?
Yeah.
Like you're just, or the hammer and sickle, and it's just like, do you not understand what the history of that is? You want to tell me the history of the swastika every time, I put on a Trump hat, but you don't understand the history of the hammer and sickle. You don't
Which is-
understand Che Guevara. You don't understand Mao and Stalin and all those other people who were worse than, a lot of them were worse than Hitler.
They like them. Some of them, a lot of them like them.
Oh yeah,
they,
which is
they
weird.
love Mao and Stalin. They love the tactics that they use, and they want to implement the same thing.
Mhm.
Yeah, I just, it's,
Fun
this is why I
fact.
moved to Kansas and I'm in a bunker and I'm not leaving.
Well, so the guy who made Armand Hammer was named after the handed sickle for communism and started
his
the
dad-
Communist Party in the United States.
I was gonna say his dad was a pure communist, and
Yeah,
okay.
the grandfather was. If you watch, on Sundays we do a
That's
show
crazy.
called Weekend Hangover where we talk about documentaries and reality TV, and we did the documentary for Armand Hammer. his name is?
Army Hammer.
Army
It's
Hammer?
the House of Hammer.
Yeah, House of Hammer. You know who Army Hammer is, right? He's the famous guy who was in the
He played the twins in Social Network.
the Social Network,
Winklevoss.
the Winklevoss twins.
Huh? I haven't seen that.
Somebody's calling you out. The Davies
I am
jersey is
Jersey.
fucked.
Sorry. Listen, all my friends are from the South right now.
Kansas,
And
you're Jersey AF.
yeah, every time I talk to them, I gotta say coffee costs a quarter on the corner. I gotta say it every time. Every time I talk, they're like, say it. And I'm like, I'm not your coffee costs a quarter on the corner. But, yeah, this dude was sick. Like his thing was to tie women up and everything like that. And the family history is just insane. Like his grandfather was influential in the U.S. government, and he gave money to all these people. And
Even to the crown, to like
yeah, and the
Prince,
crown and all.
oh god, now it's King Charles.
Yeah. But yeah, these people are all influential, and this family is nuts, like sexually deviant to the fullest. Like there was one part where the girl was holding a book up, and the father or the grandfather shot the book because they were all on drugs, and this girl was just holding like a phone book up, and he shot it. Like these people are
As a party
insane.
trick.
and these are the people that brought communism to America. It's like,
Yeah, sound like you're talking about Sam Bankman. So was it Sam Bankman-Fried?
Oh, Sam Bankman-Fried.
Sam,
Sam
yeah.
Bankman-Fried. It sounds like you're talking about him.
Listen,
And that dude, I mean, some of the stuff that he was doing, I mean, that's communism, though, right?
And they,
Mhm.
well,
That's
that's
communism.
crazy how much that they, how much he donated, whatever else, and they're just not even trying to go after him for any sort of shit, like dropping all these charges on him. Like, doesn't that show
Mhm.
you how corrupted he is with it? He's a protected man now.
Oh,
yeah.
I was talking about the other guy was in the Biden administration. What's his name?
Sam-
What's his name?
It was Sam, right? It was
yeah, it
Sam.
was Sam
Yeah.
something, the cross-dresser who liked to steal
Yeah,
people's stuff.
and they said his Instagram was such perversion. It was
Matt
like,
Damon's
was-
brother.
Yeah.
dude, thank you. I kept telling everybody, I said, this dude looks like Matt Damon with no hair. Thank you. Somebody
Totally.
else sees it too.
Uh-huh.
I kept saying
Oh,
it.
dude, I'm not gonna
Matt
lie.
Damon's
When that
brother with
happened,
lipstick on.
when
I
that
like
shit,
them apples.
when that shit happened, I made that TikTok and I showed him. I was like, "Hey, Matt
Sam
Damon, tell your
Britton.
brother to chill out."
Yeah, no, I thought, at first I thought it was Matt Damon. I was like, maybe he's cross dressing. I don't know.
He's
And,
got a new role.
he is part of Nuttywood.
Yeah.
He's got a new role in Hollywood. Yeah, that dude was like, and it was, of course, it was a black woman who made her own clothes. It's just like, that's mine. That's mine. What are you doing with my clothes on, sir?
Uh-huh.
That's my clothes. What?
And
But
no,
yeah,
no, no,
weird
this is that white privilege. It's mine.
dude, but it's
But
so like,
it's weird when that stuff was all happening, and then they're like, "Oh, well, it's normal. Like, look at all these military guys that like dress in dog masks. Like, it's
Yeah.
normal.
Oh,
You
I
should
remember that,
yeah. So
normalize
crazy.
this."
That's crazy.
listen, and I have a lot of friends in the military, and I'm like, they can't even like wear their sleeves in the wrong way, and these dudes are wearing dog masks.
Mhm.
Yeah, how does that happen? Did y'all see the one where they're wearing high heels?
Yeah,
Mm-mm.
Ugh.
Yeah.
I'm like, they're wearing high heels. I'm like, what?
yeah.
And you know what? I mean, let's take that picture and show it to a retired vet. That was,
Oh, my God.
I mean, come on, Glue. What that? They'll start cursing everything. My dad, he retired military, and I never forget it because he would never really talk about the military that much because he went to Vietnam. He never would talk about that.
Mhm.
We were listening to radio one day, and they were talking about on the military now. This was years ago that they had these timeout cards. He came unglued. I thought, he was Sergeant Johnson. He started cursing. We were riding down the street. He driving. He swerving and cursing. I'm like, whoa, what's going on? I never experienced that before. I mean, yell at me, but not talking about the military. He was
Right.
talking about a timeout card. The military, the soldiers used to be more fearful of their sergeant, their drill
yeah.
sergeant, than they were the enemy. Today,
Mhm.
it's like, I need to go time out.
Oh, dude. There's a couple of people that I listen to that have been in it that'll talk shit about this. I'm a big proponent of telling these people to shut the fuck up. That's me.
Yeah.
Because when it comes in the military, you need to be a brute force. You have to be a killing machine. Whenever you are getting an Article 15 now for misgendering somebody in the military,
Oh my goodness, yeah. dude.
Yeah.
how is that okay? How are we respected? Are you fucking serious? Like,
Yeah.
you're gonna bring all this stuff into what should be an elite fighting force, and you're worried about like socks, your gender, others. We've talked about that before, Dave. You remember the sock
Yeah.
thing with it? And
Oh,
that's when
yeah.
I started going off that day too.
Yeah.
I was like, what happened to the military that told you to shut up and do what you're supposed to do?
Yeah,
Yep,
they were talking. I'm sorry. They were talking about the length of the sock, and the captain was like, "Well, I listened to the person under me was talking about they didn't like how high the sock came up. It wasn't comfortable, so we got lower socks, and we're just looking at each other like they complain about socks.
What?
Mhm.
It's ridiculous. It's ridiculous. And now we're looking at pink bullets.
Oh
Dude,
my god.
I don't know. Listen, I don't know how.
Pink bullets, pink tank. And the rest of the world, China and all the rest of them,
China.
they're like, looking like dun 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 dun. And here we come.
Oh my god.
We're in the army. I mean, dude.
I don't know how you're gonna run in high heels in Ukraine. I don't
Right,
understand
right?
that.
Well, I don't know.
don't-
Zelensky, he got them high heels too now. Come on.
Oh, who's that propaganda dude thing right now? That Sarah, whatever her name is. It's like spreading propaganda. Please tell me you guys have seen that stuff.
No, I haven't
It
seen
is
I
that.
haven't
crazy
seen it.
weird. I will try to tag you in it too, but
Is it
that's- it's a transgender, it's a man who's now a
Oh.
woman that is literally
ma'am.
putting out propaganda for Ukraine saying,
Really?
yes,
No.
Russia hates the truth, blah blah blah. It is so weird. I put it on my TikTok too, and there's vets that have seen it. They're like, this is the weirdest propaganda I've ever seen in my life. It's like it's straight out of like a 1984 movie type weird thing.
Do you think we've
Well,
crossed
that's
the
ex-
Rubicon where like the people in charge think like what they're doing is getting us, and like we've just gotten to a point where just that majority of people just don't
I think
get
no,
it?
I think you're right. Yeah.
Like,
Mhm.
Right, we're being
Because-
desensitized, right? We're just
Yeah.
it's like
Yeah.
we're getting so used to it, right? Like when 9/11 happened, we were watching
Mhm.
it, most of us looking at it like it's a movie. Some people like, is this real?
Yep.
Like, is it a
Mhm.
movie? Is it real? I mean, it's same thing with all this other crazy stuff. And like it's just becoming the norm. They put it in cartoons, they put it on television.
Mhm.
They put it right there in front of everybody. So it's constantly being fed to the people where it's just normal.
Mhm.
Yeah, we were actually talking about that yesterday too. It's just like there's all these things that are going on because we were watching a video about a girl getting super excited that she got a chip in her hand and she could pay for her groceries
Oh,
with her
geez.
hand,
Yeah.
and like how like subtly we're getting like conditioned into doing stuff like that. So I was telling the guys like with your credit card now, instead of putting before you had to swipe it, now you can put your chip in, but now
Yep.
you can tap it.
You can tap it, yeah.
Mhm.
Was that with
You
the
know?
video you're talking about? Was that the female in Whole Foods?
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, that actually in Whole Foods right now, everybody can go. It's not even a chip right now. It's just your palm. They're reading your palm, so you go put your palm, basically your
Mhm.
fingerprint, your palm information into the Whole Foods database, and then when you go and you scan that, you just hold your hand over it. But again, like doing the tap of the credit card,
Mhm.
that is another step to it.
Yeah.
They're conditioning all of us
Oh yeah,
for
absolutely.
that digital currency.
Mhm.
That's what
Yeah.
it is. They're conditioning us. So you don't have to worry about carrying any cash or any of it. And again, that's in the Bible too.
Beast.
Yeah, the
What-
mark of
Yeah.
the beast.
It's
The
in the
beast
Bible
system.
too.
Yeah, that's what
Well,
we were.
there-
We were talking
Oh,
about
I
that
was
last time you were on. We were talking about the CBDC and the Do Black card and all that
Yeah.
stuff. And look where we are.
Yep.
Look where we are. We were talking
Yep.
about this months ago, and
Yep.
look at where we're just like you said. They're feeding us. They're drip feeding us everything. And the pandemic was. If you don't think the pandemic was a trial for what's coming, you are
Oh,
not.
man.
You are not seeing
Well,
the
it's-
entire picture.
Yeah.
The water's just warm. It's not getting too hot.
No.
Right.
You know, it's just warm.
Yeah.
Don't worry about it. It may get a little hot. You know, we start feeling the heat going up a little bit. Don't worry about it. It's just a little heat.
Next thing you know, we're boiled frog.
That's
Right.
That's exactly it.
And that's kind of listen, my father-in-law told me this the other day. It's either there's two things. You could either believe in God, believe in a heaven or a hell, or you don't have to. If you believe in a heaven or a hell and you're wrong, what happens? You turn to dust. But if you don't and there is one, guess where you're going?
Right.
It's kind of like a maybe it is, maybe it isn't, but I want to make sure it isn't what the bad one is. And and that's how people should live. You should live to, and like you were saying also with the Bible and stuff like that, like we were saying, like even if you don't believe in God, the true tenements of what he's saying, like a 12-step, like your 12-step program, because I'm sober, 20 days will be 2 years for me. So but they tell you to believe in your higher power, and it doesn't matter what your higher power is. Your higher power can be a grapefruit,
it could be
as
a
long as you
chair.
believe in a grapefruit, as long as you believe that that's your higher power. If you believe and trust in it and just follow the steps, it'll work. You know, so the same thing with the Bible. Like even if you don't believe in God, which you should, if you just take the steps and the sentiments towards it and try to live that life, not only will your life be better, it'll turn out in the long run, it'll be better.
Well, I mean, atheists agree, because a lot of atheists say, no, we don't believe in God, but we know the principles are good for society. That's the main thing about a lot of it.
Yeah. I mean, really.
Then you get the people that, will see like Will's shirt and then it just trigger them, and then their inner demon comes out. Like, if you don't believe it and you think it's all crap, then why are you so upset?
Mm-hmm. I have another one. Yeah, I have another one that says God is real. They really get triggered with that one. They really get triggered. I mean, they see Jesus save. Okay, Jesus saved. Okay, but when they say God is real, no, he's not. They get real triggered. But you're right. You don't need personally. Now we have preachers and pastors that supposedly study the word to help answer questions. Right. Because as individuals, we're supposed to study on our own. Mm-hmm. Right. Because when it's all said and done, we're standing there before God. It's not like, well, my pastor didn't tell me. That's no excuse. Mm-hmm. Yeah. It's not going to be an excuse. Right. And that's what they want. They want people to believe that it would be an excuse, but it's no excuse. But we as a society, we don't need anyone to tell us to do right. If you walk up to someone and smack him, you just did something wrong. You don't, and no one has to tell you that you just did something wrong. Mm-hmm. Without even having to believe that you are a particular religion or anything. It's just Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. That's what's funny. You say that, because that's the same thing that I feel with certain laws and stuff. Like, some laws shouldn't even be there, because in my honest opinion, if you need a law to not do some of that stuff, that's a you problem. There's something inside of you. Yeah, exactly.
Yep. All right.
Yep. I think
we're gonna wrap. Thank you for joining us, Will. We really appreciate it. Thank you very much.
But thanks for allowing me to join you guys.
Absolutely.
I do enjoy it.
Yeah, we love having you on, man. We really do. You're more than welcome anytime. Where are you? Where can people find you? I mean, I talk about you a lot. I mean, I don't know about them. I don't think they talk about you at all, but I talk about you a lot. I mean, but where can everybody find you?
Well, if you go to uaf.media, you can find me everywhere. So uaf.media.
All right, right on.
All right, uaf.media.
We appreciate you coming on. We love learning. Every time we talk about you, it's like, oh, I want to show Will something new. I want to show Will something new. Let's see what we can tell Will something. What's new this time? But it makes us happy to show people different things and stuff like that. But I can't thank you enough for coming on and taking the time to be with us today. We really appreciate it.
Yeah,
my pleasure.
Absolutely. And, love having you on, man.
You can find me at MW Troublemaker on Twitter, and the Insta bio's in there. That's it from me. Mama J?
Yep, you can find me at Suburban Mama 1, Suburban Mama, the number 1 on Twitter. And Davey and I on Sundays on YouTube and Rumble for the Weekend Hangover. And then on Thursdays, you can find me, Biz, and Captain Jack for 2 Jacks, 1 Scotch on Rumble, 8 Eastern, 7 Central, 5 Pacific.
Yep.
You can find me also, my bad, on We Don't Know Either podcast on Friday. Me and Kelly talk about everything. We have no idea what we're talking about. It's just me and Kelly making fun of each other. Kelly is a child sex trafficking survivor, and I just make fun of her the entire time, and then she tells me that I'm garbage. So yeah, it's pretty fun.
Sounds like a normal relationship.
It sounds like my normal day. Yeah.
And find me at Scott_Craiglow on all the stuff. Instagram, TikTok, that's also on Twitter, but you guys are watching us on Twitter possibly. So nonetheless, whatever with that, we will see you next week. Again, thank you, Will, for coming on, and we look forward to talking to you again in the future. And fuck the moon. We're going to Uranus. Woo! Hope you all have a good night and love y'all.
I got hairy legs.